Hello everyone and welcome to the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only Tournament right here on RGL TV. I am your host today. I am Enemy, and we'll be bringing you all of the action in this round-robin tournament for one of the great arcade games that there has ever been. This is, of course, the arcade version that we will be playing for Ghouls and Ghosts. I have to stop myself from saying Super Ghouls. It's difficult, but we are playing Ghouls and Ghosts here today. The arcade version, not the Genesis version, not the Mega Drive version. So we are bringing you the peak of the peak here. This is the primary version of the game amongst the community, and we are really excited to bring you four of the best runners of this game in the entire world. So we are going to get some final setup here in just a minute, and we will get started with our first match. You see right there, our two matches in round one. Zedamod taking on Aquas, and Fred taking on DOSBoxFalco. We got Zed and Aquas just about ready to go. In one quick second, we will get them up and live for you guys, and we will get our first match going here in the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only Tournament right here on RGL TV. Stay tuned, everyone. All right, guys, we have started our countdown, and we are getting going with our first race here. Zed, Ahmad, number 2 in the world, versus Aquas, number 3 in the world. And they are off and running. We will pick up that action as soon as they hit start. There we are. And we're off and going in our first race here in the Ghouls and Ghosts one-night-only tournament here on RGL TV. And here we are, as always, in the graveyard to start us off in any G&G game. The standard procedure, having to deal with these guillotines and all of these vultures, our primary concern in this first checkpoint of the stage. No problem for either of these racers in the early going, as you'd expect from these high-level participants. Coming up here, we're going to set up our first boost. Zed gets it no problem. It looks like Aquas has gone and gotten gold armor. Looks like he's having a little bit of fun with this. Typically, we don't get gold armor in the first stretch of the game, but Aquas is going for it right away, and he's going to have his lightning bolt to use against Shielder. We will see if that helps him out, as Zed's getting cornered a little bit, but no problem. He gets the job done. And there we see Aquas setting up the quick kill with the lightning bolt. But it is Zed who has finished this first stage in the first position here. He'll be getting going with these turtles. Now, in the arcade version, these turtles are random. In the Genesis and Mega Drive versions, they are standard in their order, how they attack. So both Zed and Aquas are going to have to read and react, and no problem for either of them so far. Of course, now they're on the collapsible bridge. There are very specific tiles that will collapse out underneath of your feet, but they know where they are, and they have no issue. Here is our first red reamer of the game. And these guys just making very quick work of him. Oh, I speak to Sid Aquas, letting him get away a little bit, but no problem for Aquas to get the backup strats and put him down. And now Zed is naked here, so he's got to be careful. He's going to have to avoid doing a deboost that is preferable during this section, so you don't have to stop and wait for all of these fiery enemies. And that's going to allow Aquas to boost and get through to Cerberus first. And now it is Aquas who will have first crack at our Stage 2 boss. And there it is. The key too hot to hold in this one. This is the only key in the game that you cannot get a nice catch on. So here we are in the elevator stage, the start of stage 3, and our racers are looking for the dagger in this one. They would both like to come away with the dagger out of this stage, and right now Aqua's getting the axe. Zed also getting the axe. But they'll make it work. Firewater there for Zed. He's going to let that one stay on the ground. Problem with the firewater is it only travels a set amount of distance. Aqua's choosing to get his javelin back. Javelin, a bit of a lesser dagger in how it works. Oh, and there is the actual dagger, as well as an axe. He's going to leave that axe alone, but he's going to pick up that dagger, and he'll be hanging out with that weapon for the rest of the game as best he can. That is our primary tool in this game. Not quite as powerful a weapon as it is in Super Ghouls and Ghosts, but a very, very useful weapon. You can have 3 of them on screen at one time. And the magic, as you see there from Aquas, gives you a doppelganger. So you get 6 shots on screen at one time. Not used too often is the magic in this game, but there are certain times. Meanwhile, Zed is going to have to be trucking along with the axe. The axe is, in this game, is the best that the axe has been in the 8 and 16 bits versions of Ghouls and Ghosts, but it is still not the desirable weapon. Oh, there's the shield, the flying power disc. That will help him to set up a dagger drop early or later on when he comes up to another opportunity to get a drop. But oh, it was Zed missing the jump over the mouth as Aquas is on to stage 4. Aquas with the dagger, Aquas with the gold armor. And pulling away with a lead right now as Zed takes that death. And he does get the dagger. But it is Aquas right now who's making his way through the muddy portion of stage 4. We have 5 main stages in this game, so we are a little over halfway through. Well, actually, we're almost 80% of the way through our first loop here. Aqua's choosing not to take the death at the checkpoint to reset his rank. Instead, just losing the armor right there and going. Does not get the ideal boost, but does get that armor drop right there. That's going to serve him well as he gets ready to fight Ohm. Aqua's taking the safer way down. The safer, faster way. There is a scarier, even faster way. But he says, you know what? Let's just go ahead and stay in the lead here. See what happens. Aqua's now fighting the intestines of Ohm. He's going to be able to get to a safe spot here where these worms are unable to get him. The little slugs can get him, but he's going to take care and destroy them before they get to him. One more set of intestines. Not a heart, but in fact intestines. And gets the nice catch. And now we're on to stage 5. Zed just getting up to Ohm now, but as Aquas continuing to hold on to his lead. He's got his dagger. He's got his standard steel armor. And he is fighting some red Reamers here. You have 4 to start off on the stage, 2 right here, this section. And of course, red Reamers are the bane of so many people's existence who play these games. But these runners just making them look like nothing. And it is Zed putting away Ohm and joining Aquas on stage 5. And we will see now if Aquas does the deboost off of this top pig. Yes, he does. And now he'll be taking a quick death here as soon as he hits the checkpoint. That will reset his rank, which means the enemies will be a little bit less aggressive, a little bit nasty, or a little bit kinder rather than nasty. And that should serve him well all the way even through to the second loop. Here's our first instance of Astaroth. And there was our first instance of Astaroth. Just that quickly, Aquas puts him away. And using that magic cast, very few iframes in this game when you cast magic, but he uses them very well and is able to get through the shielder fire and gets the second one down. That's going to open the way for him to fight the next Astaroth. There will be 2 here. You only have to defeat the one on the right in order to proceed. And proceed he does into the mini Gasudos. It looks like Aquas is going to come away with the lead after loop 1, but we'll see what happens with Bub. You can never know what's going to happen with Bub, and you never know what's going to happen with these troll bats. They don't drop a weapon right in Aqua's way. That's good news. Oh, the mini Gasudo's hanging out. He's going to fly away, but not before he gets all in Aqua's business there a little bit. And there we have it. Loop 1 going to Aqua's, but this is far from over, folks. As Zed puts away his second Astaroth, he is naked. He's going to be getting the steel armor, but no! The mini Gasudo says, get out and game over yourself. So he will be going back to the checkpoint. And meanwhile, Aquas just waiting for God and for Prin Prin to finish up what they were saying. Basically, Aquas needs the MacGuffin. He needs the Psycho Cannon. The Psycho Cannon. I always have to stop myself and make sure I don't mix it up with the Psycho Crusher from Street Fighter. That is our weapon of power in this game. The Psycho Cannon, the weapon we can only get on the second loop, and the weapon we must have when we beat loop 2 stage 5. Otherwise we will get sent back and not able to progress to the final boss of the game. But right now, Aquas is enjoying a pretty significant lead. But it is Zed who is looking to wrap up loop 1 here. Oh, he's got a drop here. He's going to try to avoid it, and he gets points. That's good news. He did not get a bad weapon drop there. He does have his dagger. He's fighting Beelzebub. Looks like Bub's going to get away for a second cycle at least. You see him firing at the flies in order to get them to go above him. And the key is caught. It is a nice catch. And meanwhile, Aquas taking on Shielder here in loop 2. Does not have the lightning, has to fight him with projectiles. But it is done. And Aquas styling a little bit there. Hands up on the main Arthur, and the doppelganger continues to shoot. So Aquas now getting into the windmill stage ahead of his opponent Zed. The reverse of what we had happen last time. Oh, and the turtle jumping right onto Aquas there, taking away his armor. And Aquas going through a safe collapsible part of that bridge. And he is through the bridges, coming up on the checkpoint here. Has to get past the flaming Q-tips. No problem for him as he comes up to the Arimer, and he is at the checkpoint. Any death here will respawn him right away. Kills the Arimer and continues to go forward without his armor. Potentially dangerous for him, but he does have a pretty healthy lead, so it shouldn't be too much of a concern. As we are rolling here in our first matchup of this Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only tournament, a round-robin format here on RGL TV. I am your host, Enemy, bringing you this Loop 2 action between our first two competitors, Zetamod and Aquas. Aquas gets to Cerberus and grabs that key. Once again, no nice catch. Cannot be done. It looks like both of our competitors have forgotten to put on their timers here. We will update everyone with the official time once the race is concluded. Of course, the nice thing for these racers as they get into the elevator on stage 3 is that they do not need to worry about getting the dagger, as they both have the dagger at this point. Aquas very nearly had to worry about picking up that axe, was able to slide right past it and keep his dagger. Looks like Zed now is playing it very careful here. That lack of armor is throwing a little bit of kink into his plan for getting through this section, as it did on Loop 1. Oh, and Aquas with the big jump there. Landing on the moving platform. Oh, and he jumps through the mouth, does not get Digestamurad. And he lands on the platform in the mouth, jumps over that active mouth, lands on the tongue, and making it look easy. He could have died in any number of those maneuvers right there, but instead, he takes a key for coming in with a nice catch, and it's on the stage 4 for Aquas, who was just flying at this point. The former world record holder himself, showing that he is one of the very best in the world at this game. Zed on the left side of your screen now, going up the elevator. He's got his dagger already. He will be in good shape here. He'll be looking to pick up that gold armor. Not a necessity, but it is a nice to have. Aquas somewhat surprisingly going with the safer, faster route. Does not go for the bold route, the big drop. I thought he may perhaps go for that, but he may not realize that he is in the position he is relative to Zed with the lead that he is enjoying. However, he chose not to go for safe strats on that those last two Ohm intestines and gets the job done, and now he's on to the final main stage of this race. Aquas in a commanding lead at this point. Aquas being very careful to make sure he gets rid of the red Arimers because he has to spawn a chest here. That will allow him to get the Psycho Cannon. I will hesitate every time. The Psycho Cannon, of course, the weapon we do need. Very powerful, especially at short distance, and with the gold armor allows you to cancel projectiles. Takes the boost there, and once again, will reset his rank by taking a death there. And give himself a little bit of an easier go through this last little bit of Stage 5 here on Loop 2. Aquas hanging on to this lead without much of an issue. And Aquas now getting to the double Astaroths. Again, only having to kill the one on the right. I believe only in the Super Graphics version do you have to kill both of them. And now the Shielder and Bats stand in the way of Aquas getting to Beelzebub with gold armor. If you can get to Beelzebub with gold armor, you can kill him very quickly. We will see what happens here. A couple early hits. And just cancels the projectiles, grabs the key, and we are on to Loki here, folks. AKA Lucifer, AKA the final boss of Ghouls and Ghosts. It should be quick work here. As yes, indeed, Aquas takes the victory with an official time of 16 minutes and 9 seconds, an absolutely dominant time. And a great job by Aquas. We will see now as Zed finishes up here, fighting Ohm. Had that game over, of course. Zed is in no man's land there as he waits for the worms to give him safe patches, and he does get safe passage. Now he is at a very safe space here where he's able to get those intestines without too much of a concern, and he will grab the key. And now it's all up to Zed to grab himself the Psycho Cannon and put away Beelzebub to face Loki and close up this first round match. Of course, it is Aquas who's taken the victory here. There's the Goddess Bracelet. It is spawned. Zed will grab it, and then he will put away these red Reamers like nothing. Right up close, not even a worry at that point. Once again, taking that death there allows him to reset his rank. Being able to do that boost and then go right into the checkpoint is very nice. And there we see Zed grabbing his gold armor. Of course, you do not have any magic that you can cast with the gold armor when you have the Psycho Cannon. But it is a very powerful weapon in and of itself, so no magic needed. Oh, there. Okay, it could have been a weapon drop there, but it was not. It was a points figurine. And now Zed will look to put away Bub here and move on to our final boss. Oh, going for quick hits, trying to put him away in one cycle, and no, the flies get him. So Zed will have to do the second half of our final stage over again. He went for the quick kill. He tried to get the hits in time. And although the Psycho Cannon is powerful, it was not quite powerful enough in that situation. And Bub flew his flies right through Zed Ahmad. As he's looking to close this round out. An honorable competitor is Zed Ahmad. Ooh, and there goes the armor. So now Zed will have to be very careful here. He's gonna have to watch out for a potential weapon drop. Oh, jumps over the enemy with the pot. Taking it out of the equation entirely, but now Zed's gotta be very careful. The projectiles cannot be canceled. Here comes Bub, reforming. Couple more hits. Oh, Zed just making it over the projectiles. Very close indeed. course, Zed cannot fire through that wall there. He's got to be spitting mad at this point, just hoping that Bub finally cooperates. There it is, the kill, and we are on to the final boss. Zed taking on Loki here. Once again, we expect it to be quick work. He gets the boost up, and there he goes for a final time of 20 minutes and 12 seconds. Congratulations to both of our racers, and congratulations to Aquas, who has taken the victory here in round 1. So let's take you over to our standings right now. We have Aquas taking the first victory, 16 minutes and 9 seconds, compared to Zedamod's 20 minutes and 12 seconds. A couple game overs befell Zed in that one. So it is Aquas who has taken the first victory. We have a programming note here. DOSBoxFalco unexpectedly had to leave. So we have to try to sort some stuff out. That may take a couple minutes here. This happened during the race that you just watched. So we are going to have a little bit of a discussion amongst the racers here real quick. And, you know, we'll maybe probably be jumping into round 2 here real quick. We may be jumping around the schedule. I don't know if we can quickly adjust the brackets here real quick now that everything's been initiated. But one way or the other, we will get you sorted and continue the action in just a hot second here on the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only Tournament right here on RGL TV. Stay tuned, everyone. We will be back with our next match. We'll see what it's going to be with our next match in just a couple of minutes. Hang tight, everyone, and we will get that going right away. All right, fortune has smiled upon us this day. DOS has been able to get his issues sorted out, and he is back with us our #1 seed, the current world record holder for Ghouls and Ghosts. Excuse me. See, I almost said it. Ghouls and Ghosts here. So we are pleased that he was able to get sorted and get back with us. He'll be readying up in just a moment, and we'll get started in race number 2 of round 1 in this round robin tournament for the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only tournament here on RGL TV. All right. Looks like everybody is ready to up. We will get going in just a second here. All right. So it'll be our #4 seed Fred taking on our #1 seed DOSBoxFalco. And we have timers on this one. That is good. There's a little bit of a cursor on DOS's side. That's all right, though. So we're off and running in the graveyard here in race number 2 of round 1 of the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only tournament. DOS on your right, Fred on your left. Standard operating procedure to get us started here in the graveyard. Just making your way through those guillotines and onto the checkpoint. Now we're going to be seeing the boost set up. Both of these racers will probably be doing... There's actually a faster and a slower setup. The faster setup, I believe, saves maybe a half a second, maybe slightly less. Both of them are actually going for the slightly slower boost. So there we go. I was proven wrong immediately. And on to Shielder, our first boss here. A big, scary-looking customer who, as long as you can kind of just keep moving backwards and jump as you need to, you're going to be able to get through no problem. And it is DOS just about a second ahead at this point. You can see their timers are offset just by about a second. So when we adjust for that, DOS just slightly ahead. Oh, and the turtle grabs him. So now DOS will be going naked through the bridges here. And Fred being a little bit more careful as he goes through the turtle section and gets himself onto the bridges. All of our racers so far have been very astute in their bridge handling. No one having any major issues falling through. As you would expect, they know exactly where they need to avoid on those bridges. Of course they do. When you play this game blind, it's scary business. There's a sand monster below you. If you land near him, you were dead. Even if you have full armor, you just immediately die. You don't lose your armor and then die. You just die straight away. So you certainly want to avoid that. These racers having no problem doing so. And it is DOS who is going to get first cracks at Cerberus here. Leading him with those shots. And there he goes. And just as Fred is starting the fight with Cerberus, DOS is ending it and getting onto the elevator here in stage 3. Here we see DOS grabbing the flying power disc. Still looking for that dagger, but he will stick with this if he cannot get it. A sword is dropped. He will not be getting that sword unless he wants to just mess around a little bit here. And the dagger drops for Fred, so he's loving life. Of course, he is naked. That's somewhat less than desirable at this point. Oh, but hey, DOS joining him in his nakedness. Looks like he's going to try to grab that armor. It's going to leave him with not a ton of time to make it over through this section, having to jump past a lot of these champs. I don't know what they're actually called. I call them champs. They're making that big old Pog Champy looking face. Yes, we encourage everyone who is watching along at home or anywhere on twitch.tv to just join along with the racers in nakedness. Why not? And they've gotten armor now, but, you know, they will probably be naked again. So, you know, if the mood strikes you, you know, we're not telling you what to do, but, you know, celebrate how you like. RGL TV does not condone public nudity or indecency. Please become naked at your own risk. DOS now taking on Gasudo first. Gets that nice high spawn. No problem killing him. And getting that key. We're on to stage 4 here. But Fred, hot on his heels, getting the kill. And just a few seconds behind is Fred. So we have ourselves a nice race here as we are getting towards the end of our first loop. Stage 4 out of 5. Oh, and the worm just taking away that armor before he gets killed by DOS. Fred also losing his armor. And these two are keeping it very even. Unexpectedly so. Oh! And yes, you really can't jump there. DOS going to try to avoid one of the projectiles, and unfortunately, the crystals are right there. Oh, and look at that! Fred on the left side of your screen having the same fate befall him. What a turn of events here in the stage 4. This is just a nasty piece of business when this stage lines up against you. There's only so much you can do to avoid it because you have such a low overhead with those crystal spikes. Again, Fred losing his armor there. We'll see if he chooses to take the death. Yes, he does. There's DOS now, who's making his way down to Ohm. A very obnoxious boss. Those flying worms and their randomness is not to be trifled with, but DOS has no problem getting rid of the left side intestines. Now he will get to his safe spot on the right side, crouch it on down, and just wait for those intestines to become available. And he will be moving on to stage 5, but not to be outdone. Look who it is, Fred, once again, right on DOSBoxFalco's heels. Just waiting for those intestines to come up, and there it is, the nice catch. And everyone's keeping it close. Our competitors neck and neck here as we start stage 5 on loop 1 in this Ghouls and Ghosts one night only tournament. DOS dealing with this red reamer. You get away a little bit, but no problem. Oh, and look at this. It's like a slight delay between these two. There's similarities between how things are playing out is uncanny at this time. Oh, but it is DOS who gets rid of the Reamer twins first and makes his way on up. We'll see how he chooses to handle this. Oh, and he grabs! He has to! The flying power disc right in his way, grabs it on the way up. It looked like he might be able to sneak past, but he was unable to do so. And now he's got a less than desirable weapon. He will be able to make this work, of course. It is not a deal breaker by any means. Oh, and I'm not so sure that Fred got the checkpoint there. He did not! And oh my goodness, he is sent back to the start, and now a gap is opened up in this race here, folks. DOS sneaking on through to the checkpoint. Fred not quite having the same luck. Gets boosted back up onto the platform and misses out on the checkpoint, so he will have to start over at the beginning of stage 5. And very unfortunate turn of events for Fred. He's going to open up a little bit of comfort zone for DOSBoxFalco here as he is dealing with these shielders. And to get rid of both of them to clear the way through to the double Astaroths and on to the finale of our first loop. That sword will do him no favors. He will let it go. Now these Astaroths are conspiring together. Oh, he's going to try to put him down before he dies. Does not quite have the firepower to do so. And now it is back to the checkpoint for him, which means technically Fred now has the lead again by mere moments. Nothing can separate these two. Not a missed checkpoint, not a death, not a game over. Not a weapon loss. They are still rolling, and they are right with each other. And it is Fred now who has taken rid of Shielderhead number 1. Shielderhead number 2 down. And down now for DOSBoxFalco as well. And boy, it can't get much closer than this, folks. The Firewater, also not a favorable weapon at this point. For DOS, he leaves it. And he's going to be grabbing the steel armor. Back up right here. There it is. Oh, and Fred loses his armor. He's going to be avoiding these bats. He avoids the weapon drop. DOS also avoiding the weapon drop. Both will be taking on Bub here in their skivs. And we'll see what happens. Fred shooting his daggers, trying to get the flies to go above him. Does so. Oh, and it's a game over for DOS! That'll send him back to the checkpoint. And now Fred has an opportunity to gain some real ground over his opponent. We'll see what happens here. Bub setting up a little bit in the wall there. Should be able to get hit. And yes, it is Fred who finishes loop 1 first in this already back and forth contest. DOS getting that game over and being sent back. And now the unskippable cutscene will be the difference. Fred gets to it first. DOS is dealing with the shielder heads once again. But it is Fred who has jumped out to a bit of a lead. Oh, and now DOS going with the sword. The sword is very powerful, but of course it is a very short-range weapon. So we'll see what happens with the Bub fight. Oh, a little bit of a graphical glitch there for the Shielderhead. Oh no! Oh, it's looking rough there for DOS, and yes, indeed, he gets knocked back. But it's Fred now getting going on loop 2 here. He's already bypassed the one difference between loop 2 and loop 1. There's an extra vulture in the very early going of this stage. That's it. That's the difference. Well, that, and obviously you have a boss to fight at the end of the game. Oh, look at that. He uses sword magic. It does not kill the shielder. He still gets damage because you do have very short iframes when you cast magic in this game. Oh, it looks like DOS's timer is just a little bit cut off there. He is at 11 minutes, not 1 minute. That would be world record pace by a long shot if he was at 1 minute on stage 5 on loop 1. Fred at 11 minutes, putting down shielder. And going on to stage 2 here. Oh, and DOS catching another game over there. That sword is just not being kind to him. Turtles are being very kind to Fred right now. Had a nice bit of open space there with very few turtles. Oh, there's a little bit of a drop there for Fred on the bridge. Not a big issue. He fell onto a bridge right underneath of it. And he is on, making his way to the checkpoint. And we'll see if DOS chooses to get another weapon here. Yes, he's got the javelin. A much preferred choice at this point, I think, for DOS. I mean, Fred is past the checkpoint. He is naked, but not afraid. Progressing onward, trying to get to Cerberus. Will be unable to do deboost strats here, of course. We'll see how these fire bats set up. So far, so good for Fred. Oh, he just avoided them there. Almost got sandwiched, but he is on to the boss. He should have made quick work of Cerberus here, even in his naked state. Cerberus, not much of a threat. And there it is. No problem. And Fred now widening the gap between our two racers here as he continues to press forward. Everything was so close through 90% of loop 1, and then just some misfortune befell DOSBoxFalco, and Fred was able to just keep pressing forward, really. You know, he had his share of trials and tribulations, certainly, but did not have that game over and was able to keep it moving. Then, of course, DOS went with the sword, a bold choice that did not quite pay off the way he might have hoped. I'm sure he did that kind of as a lark, but did not quite work out. And now he is looking to put away Bub. Bub's certainly going to take a second attack here. Probably into a third, staying off screen like that, not really doing DOS any favors. We see if we can get him in the third cycle here. Ooh, and yes, they got a little bit too close, and DOS goes down as Fred is making his way up through the elevator, fighting the champs and about to get into the statues. A little bit of musical appeal there from Fred. I appreciate it. Jumping through the mouth. You gotta be very careful. I mean, they make it look so easy jumping through these mouths and jumping onto platforms the moment they're spawning. It looks like nothing. It is very scary stuff. Look at that. Look, so Fred died there. As if to prove my point. Oh no, and Fred picks up the firewater, so now things are taking a nasty turn for Fred. He certainly still is enjoying a commanding lead, but this is not broken the way he wants it to right there. I could not tell if that was a Digestamura or if he fell through the mouth there. I think it might have fallen through. I think that the platform timing might have been a little bit off. Oh, the dagger's right back. He's going to try to get it, and he's going to take the death, and he's probably happy to do so right there to get rid of the firewater. He says, you know what? We're doing all right. Let's get that dagger back. Big explosion off of the axe magic now, as DOS has picked up the axe, fighting Bub. Only one of the axes can be on screen at a time, making it somewhat less than ideal in some cases, but it could definitely be worse. He's actually acquitting himself quite well so far. Meanwhile, Fred getting to Gasudo, and yes, indeed, DOSBoxFalco getting rid of the Loop 1, that final stage that plagued him quite viciously. But he will be going on to Loop 2 now. But it is Fred with the commanding lead at this point. On to stage 4 in Loop 2. Has his dagger back. And he is pressing forward here, folks. We hesitate to call anything just yet. Stage 5 is still to come. And on Loop 2, you get that Psycho Crusher, Psycho Cannon. You never know what might happen. DOS could be able to make his way back into this one, but right now, Fred is just doing a wonderful job of holding on to this lead. And he gets the nice boost there. Goes right off that little left side platform. Oh, and he's going to go for the dangerous drop, and he gets it! My goodness! Fred must be keenly aware that he is at a pretty distinct advantage at this point. That is a crazy decision in a race setting, but he gets the job done, and it pays off in a big way. The fearless Fred making his way onto our final main stage here in Loop 2. We'll have to collect the Psycho Cannon in order to progress on past this stage. And to do that, he will need the gold armor. The Psycho Cannon will not spawn unless you have your gold armor selected. If you do, it will come out of a weapon chest, which is chest number 3 here. And there it is. Waits for it and grabs it. One more reamer left to deal with. Oh, and he gets it. He loses his armor for his troubles, but he has the weapon that he needs in order to get through to the final boss. Fred being very careful there, choosing not to take the death. And there he grabs his armor back. That'll allow him to cancel these projectiles, these fireballs from the shielders, and of course the projectiles from Ohm, or excuse me, not from Ohm, from Beelzebub, coming up here for our boss fight. Coming up to the mini Gasudos here. Avoiding them all very well. We'll have to get through this shielder quickly. Doesn't want that Ohm to set, or that Gasudo. Why am I calling every enemy Ohm? Wants that Gasudo to set up on him. Not to set up on him. And now here's Beelzebub. Should be able to make quick work of him. Oh, it looked like Bub was setting up very nicely for him, but it was not to be. And Bub gonna go out of the field of play. Fred can no longer cancel the projectiles. He's gonna have to stop and wait, see what Beelzebub does. Oh, just able to avoid that shot there. Waiting for the flies. The flies don't quite come at him. He was setting up and gets the kill. And there it is, the nice catch, sending him on to our final boss here. Fred should make quick work of him. We'll see what happens. And there it is, with an official time of 19 minutes and 41 seconds. Fred has taken the victory in this one. As we see DOSBoxFalco continuing on, just getting past the checkpoint in stage 2 here. We will see how he finishes off his first race here. But congratulations to Fred for taking the victory in this one. We'll cut over to DOSBoxFalco's audio now here. He's grabbing the flying power disc. And it is on to the Cerberus fight. Should point out too that DOS is using an arcade stick for this tournament. He made it sound like that was maybe not his typical controller of choice, but he wanted to roll with it, playing the arcade version and all. So we will. I don't know to what extent that has contributed to some of the issues that he has suffered throughout this run, but just something to note. DOS has gone with the axe here, and now we'll see if he gets this. He's gonna stick with it. He had the opportunity to get the disc there, but he's gonna stick with the Psycho Cannon. This has some pros and cons to it. This is we'll see how it works out for him as he progresses on through the rest of the stages. For as long as he hangs on to it, he will ultimately need it, but he certainly doesn't need it until the final stage, and it can sometimes prove to be a little bit of a pain to deal with in certain spots. So we will see how this goes for DOSBoxFalco. Oh, he tries to land on the chest there, but the chest was not quite spawned when he made that jump. I wonder if he was trying to set up for a weapon drop there. He may have been thinking about that. First chest in every form in this game is going to be a magician. So if you're looking for armor, or if you're looking for a weapon, you don't want that first chest. But now we are dealing with Gasudo here, naked. We'll see what sort of pattern comes about here. Oh, yes, there we go. He just collapses right down on DOS. When you're naked, even a cloud is a disaster. At least in the world of Ghouls and Ghosts. So DOS grabs the armor. That's going to allow him to cancel projectiles. Didn't quite get the jump over to the next tongue, so he's going to go up. And there we go. All right. Gasudo down, and we are on to stage 4 here in the second loop for DOSBoxFalco. Oh, and right into the javelin. So whether or not he wanted to keep the Psycho Cannon, irrelevant at this point. He's going to be rolling with the javelin for a little bit here, at least. And DOS looking to take, yes, the death right there. Set up the checkpoint, get his armor back. And of course, he'll be setting up the boost here. Oh, it gets knocked a little bit too far. All right, and DOS has decided that it is time to move forward. So he has tipped his cap to Fred, who's taking the victory in this one. DOS will be back in just a little bit with his next race. In fact, it should be setting up right now. We may do Aquas versus Fred first. Let's go ahead and show you the next match we have coming up here. Let's go ahead and bring that up real quick. So we see a Fred versus DOS just taking place. Let's go ahead and update this real quick. All right, there we go. Fred taking the victory with 1941. DOSBoxFalco forfeiting the match after a lot of trials and tribulations there. This is Fred who has taken the victory here. And also be looking to get back on track in round 2 here. We have our next matchup coming up. We may be doing Aquas versus Fred next. We may be doing DOS versus Zed next. We will see who's ready to go. We will get that sorted right away here for you folks, and we will bring you your next match in the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only Tournament in just a moment. You are watching right here on RGL TV. Stay tuned, everyone. All right, everybody. We have our next race all set up here. It is Zed Ahmad taking on DOSBoxFalco, who is raring to go, jumping back in to the fire here. Ready to... Uh-oh, someone's got me turned on. Mute that here real quick. There we go. Okay. Should be good now. So, we are going to get this started and get DOS right back into the thick of things, taking on Zed, who had a bit of his own issues in the first round. We will see what happens this time. Zed taking on Dawson. We are underway here, folks. Round 2 of the Ghouls and Ghosts one night only tournament right here on RGL TV. I am Enemy, bringing you the action all day long. Here in the arcade version of Ghouls and Ghosts. Zed Ahmad taking on DOSBoxFalco. Getting things going under these guillotines. And Zed getting that quick boost. DOS going for the slightly slower one. Oh, and gets wormed there. The tentacle reached up and grabbed him. So now he's going to have to take a few extra seconds to cut through some enemies. So it is Zed who will get the shielder first. And looks like he's got some good hits on him. Getting cornered here. Oh! And ran out of room. And now DOS will have an opportunity to get on the stage 2 first. Despite that boost not going his way, it is DOSBoxFalco who puts Shielder down and grabs the key. Oh, he jumped over the key at first, did not get that nice catch. But he is on to stage 2. A little bit of shenanigans in the early goings here. Zed now coming back to Shielder, and it is DOS who is on his way to the bridges here in stage 2 of Loop 1, and our second round matchup, Ghouls and Ghosts one night only tournament. Avoiding those trouble spots of the bridges. Clipped that one, but made it on through, did not fall. That's the important part. And down goes the Reamer, no problem for DOSBoxFalco. He is fixing to put away the issues that he had in his last race and show why he is the world record holder in this game. But right now, these bats are not being kind to him. But he is through after a little bit of slowness due to the bats. He is on to Cerberus, putting those shots down. And this should be it here. There it is. Cerberus is down. Zed taking a death there after the checkpoint, so he will start right there. Make his way through, but it is DOS who is onto the elevator and looking for that dagger. DOS kept bouncing around between weapons last game, but there's the dagger for him right away. One less thing he's got to worry about now in the early goings. This round 2 matchup. Javelin dropping again. He's going to avoid that one. But he will try to pick up this gold armor right here. Gets it. Stops everyone for a moment. Oh, and that just did not cooperate with his positioning. Dropped right down onto DOS's head. Taking away his armor there for a second, but he's going to grab the steel back up. Just make his way to the right as quickly as possible so he can get through the destructible wall here. And he is in good shape now as he's about to reach the checkpoint. Here on stage 3. Zed now on stage 3. He's got himself the disc. Now he's going to grab that dagger. Both these racers are set up the way they want to be. DOS with the boost there onto the platform. He's avoiding some mouths here. Gets up and over. We'll see how he handles this part. Oh, gets onto the platform right as it's spawning, jumps through the mouths, and he is on to the Gasudo fight. And he did not die. The Gasudo is going to start in that upper right corner, give him a good opportunity to get some early hits in. And there is Gasudo, and DOS now hitting his stride here as he's going into stage 5. Stage 4, excuse me, stage 4. The snake and the skeleton murderer conspired there to take away DOS's armor, but no matter, he gets to the checkpoint, takes the quick death, will get his armor back, and now we'll be looking for the big boost here. Now Zed making his way through the statues. DOS getting the big boost, going down left side here. The safer way of handling things. And now it is on to Ohm. First intestine's down. He's going to that left side, the dangerous half of the boss. No problem. Oh, but there's the problem. The worm comes up right underneath his feet as he is moving on to safety. Did not quite get there, and now we'll be starting over from the checkpoint here on stage 4. Once again, getting that boost. Going down that left side, that's going to give Zed a chance to creep back into this one here. Takes that hit as DOS is back to Ohm. We'll see how these worms cooperate this time. Looked like that one could have been a problem, but DOS is over to the left. That is a safe point. And he is done with Ohm on to stage 5. And Zed getting the big boost on the left side. We will see how he handles. Oh, he goes down the right side and gets the kills! And he has gone through the fast way, the brave way, the shockingly effective way. It could have been disaster for Zed, but he says, no, I am getting this one. He's not even going for the safe strats here. Look at this. Oh, and the hubris gets the better of him. And even though he gets the key to drop, it is Zed who is going back to the start. Got a little bit too ahead of himself there. And we'll have to redo the Ohm fight. And now he's going down the left side here. And DOS has gotten to the checkpoint on stage 5. He's in good shape here. Should be able to wrap up this first loop. He's got his dagger. He will shortly have gold armor. Just an Astaroth away. And now Zed going down to the safe spot. Did not do so for the 4th of the intestines, but the final one, he says, you know what? I didn't care for that death. We're going to avoid it this time. And he manages to do so, grabs the key, and it is on the stage 5. And now DOS coming up to the Astaroth twins. Puts down the one he needs. He'll be making his way onto Shielder. Just avoiding these Gasudos, these little mini Gasudos. Oh, avoids the weapon drop. Very nice. And now he'll be doubling up. Bringing out that doppelganger. And going to work on Ohm. Oh, but Ohm goes up. That's no good. That's going to slow things down just a little bit. Wow, Zed looks like starting over in stage 5. And it is DOS getting through the loop first. So he will be waiting for an old man with a crystal to tell him all sorts of things in Japanese about how he cannot progress, how he must go back and find the special weapon, of course being the Psycho Cannon. And then Prin's there. Well, she's not there. If she was there, we would be done. And this would be a one-loop game. But that's not the case. As we get started on loop 2 here, there it is. That vulture, that's the difference. That's just between loop 1 and loop 2. Hope you enjoyed it. That first vulture. That's it. Zed now getting to the checkpoint and taking the death. Standard operating procedure here for our runners. We'll see if Zed can close out loop 1 here. Make his way on to the second loop. DOS right now getting ready to set up his boost. Had a little bit of an issue last time. And, you know, just decides, hey, we're just going to make our way up. Keep this armor. Play it nice and safe. Last time he had to do this without armor. So this time, he's probably a big fan of having that gold armor. Now he's coming up the shielder here. And get his doppelganger going. See if that helps him out a little bit. Gets the kill. And he will be on to stage 2. Doppelganger out for Zed. Gets the kill on Beelzebub. And he is done with loop 1. DOSBoxFalco a stage ahead at this point. Plenty of race to go here. But it's DOS now looking to make amends for the issues that he had with the run previous to this one. See if he can't jump back in, avoid some of the nastiness that befell him, and so far so good for him. We'll see if he can keep it going. Now that he is on loop 2 here, no problem with the Reamer. Oh, but there, the Fire Bat not being kind. So now once again, DOS will be unable to do his boosting that he would like to do here. So far, the Fire Bats have been very cooperative for DOS. Yes, he's through to Cerberus. No real issue there. And Zed, of course, on the left side of your screen, making his way back through stage 1. Got into the checkpoint. The key is grabbed by DOS, and he'll be onto the elevator. Has his dagger. He's ready to go. Couple weapons that he's wanted to avoid right there. That's no problem for him. Let's see if he goes, and yes, grabs the gold armor. Zed on the left side of your screen making his way through the turtles. Oh, that nasty little customer grabbing the armor away from DOSBoxFalco. Once again, we see him go for that backup. Very nice of the game to build that in for you. You have to make sure you do your part and spawn the correct number of chests, but hey, it's there. They could have just not given you enough chests to even be able to do that. Which does seem like something that would happen in a GNG game, but not in this one. So it does have the armor here, but it looks like he's not going to do his boosts. He's just going to potshot what he can. Oh, and DOS falling to his death there. And now Zed joining him on stage 3, getting started with the elevator. Meanwhile, it is DOS who is getting ready to fight Gasudo at the end of this stage. He goes up and over that time. Now Gasudo will spawn lower here after that death. DOS is getting a lot of good hits in there. Oh. Unattackable pattern there for a few moments, but no problem. And his DOSBoxFalco gets the kill, gets the key, and he is on the stage 4 here, folks. Holding on to a fairly healthy lead right now, is DOSBoxFalco. As we get closer and closer to the end of this game, and thus the end of this race, between DOSBoxFalco and Zed Ahmad. Both racers looking for their first win. And that death there does DOS no favors, but he will maintain his lead even though it is a game over. Of course, you have to go through the high score screen on this arcade version of the game. but no problem as he is back in on stage 4. Now Zed has hit the checkpoint, jumping through the mouth. He'll be making his way towards Gasudo. We'll see what happens here. Oh, it looked like DOS was going to get hit by the Mudman's shot. He avoided it, and then the worm was there to finish the job and take away that armor. And now DOS could be in a bit of a pickle here. We will see what happens. He's able to get through that section relatively unscathed. The Mudman is in his way, but he gets past it, and he will take the quick death for the checkpoint to regain his armor. And there's the boost perfectly set up. Walks off that last pix on the left side, goes down, and makes his way to Ohm. Zed Ahmad getting ready to deal with these Mudmen. Oh, and now we have ourselves a situation here where DOS is going back to the checkpoint. Zed only a little bit behind the checkpoint at this point. DOS happening to go the slightly slower way on that boost there. I mean, to go to the right. Zed taking the quick death, and he is at the checkpoint. So Zed gaining some ground right now on DOS. We'll see what happens on this Ohm fight. That worm doing DOS no favors there. But gets the third intestine down. He'll be making his way over to the safe point to close out this fight. One step too close. Half the daggers were going above the intestine, but he gets it done. But it looks like Zed gained even a little bit more time there, as it looks like he's going to be able to get a first try Ohm kill. And yes, indeed. And now Zed is putting the pressure on DOS here. Only a few seconds separating these two racers as we are on stage 5 here in Loop 2. Anything can still happen here, folks, as our racers are setting up their Psycho Cannon pickup here. DOS with an excellent kill on the Arimer, spawning the Goddess and grabbing the Psycho Cannon. And there's the Goddess for Zed. The Arimer is still scatting around there. Oh, gets the kill, but loses armor for his efforts. And he's got to be very careful to get to that checkpoint. Oh, and DOS also losing his armor there. Oh, and now a dagger is in his way. Has to take the death there. Otherwise, he would have had to collect the Psycho Cannon again. Could have done that. Chose not to. Probably would have been in a pickle anyhow, having to get out. Oh, and he gets hit by the Magician. So now he's been turned into a duck for a few seconds. And that will allow Zed to get to the checkpoint and get out into the lead in this race. And we have seen a turn of events here, folks, as Zed now pulls out in front of DOS. Doing such a good job this entire race. And just that ill-positioned dagger, throwing things into question. Still plenty that can happen here. These mini Gasudos, the Shielder, a bad weapon drop, or Beelzebub could all be a little bit questionable in their actions. But right now, Zed is looking like he's in good shape here. A quick death for DOS. And Zed's going for the quick kill here. Does not quite get it. So we'll see what happens. Oh, and the flies get him! So now DOS back into the lead here. As we are 18.5 minutes in. And just like that, folks, the lead is swapped. We are very close here, though. Only a few seconds separating our two racers right now, as DOS jumps back out ahead. But Zed hot on his heels here, getting the Psycho Cannon shots in on the Shielders. Meanwhile, DOS is taking care of the Astaroth and going on through the mini Gasudos. Now taking care of the Shielder. See if the weapon drops there. It did not. He's just got the points pick up, so he's in good shape here. We'll see what he does with Bub. Good hits on Bub. Oh, he loses that armor, though. We saw that happen. Oh, and the sword drops for Zed. And that is a catastrophic Oh no, but he gets the weapon drop right there. See, that's the wisdom of these high-level players to know what is going to drop when. Gets the weapon drop right away and stays in this one, but it is DOS who gets to Loki first. Oh, and what a great fight out of Zed, but it might be too little too late as DOS is getting first cracks on Loki, gets the attacks and the kill. And a official time of 19 minutes and 53 seconds on the race bot. 3 seconds separating these two racers for an official time for Zed of a 1956. Can't get much closer than that, folks. Awesome job from both of these racers. A great showing here in round 2. But congratulations to DOSBoxFalco, who had a rough round 1, but comes back and snakes a victory away from Zed. It was back and forth there at the end, but he is able to grab the victory in this one. Awesome job from both of these racers. Give it up, folks. All right, and we update the standings here real quick. We have DOSBoxFalco taking the victory there. Time of 19 minutes and 53 seconds compared to Zed Ahmad's 19 minutes and 56 seconds. It came right down to the wire, but it was DOSBoxFalco, our world champion, taking the win against the second place in the world, Zed Ahmad. A job well done from both of those racers. You can't say anything bad about that race. That came right down to it. That was an awesome showing from both racers. DOS grabbing his victory there. And now we will be moving on to our next match here in round 2. It will be Aquas taking on Fred, and we will get that set up for you guys straight away and come right back with our next match here in the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only tournament right here on RGL TV. Stay tuned, everyone.
Yo.
All right, we are joined here by one of the competitors from the last race. Zedamad is here for commentary, everyone.
Hello.
We are going to get going with our next race here in round 2, Fred versus Aquas, our number 3 and 4 seeds, and both have scored a victory already in the race today.
Excited to see this one. How have you been enjoying the run so far?
It's been great. It's always a pleasure to get to watch high-end Ghouls and Ghost action, really of any sort. Doesn't have to necessarily be this game, although this is the best one.
Yeah.
All right, let me just get everyone ready, and we will get going with our next race here, everyone. All right, we got our 10-second countdown, and we will be underway in just a moment here. Fred versus Aquas. Our second matchup in the second round here in the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only tournament. And they are off and running. And we got both timers going this time. This is great.
Sweet.
All right. So tell us, spin us a tale about this opening section of the game.
So the first section in the game is pretty standard fare, just jump and shoot. Not a lot of complicated stuff going on. However, Aquas is the only player of us that has actually developed some safer strats for race setting, and I'm sure he's going to be showing those off. Should be good to see. He takes an intentional time loss doing these strats of maybe 5 to 10 seconds per stage, but his consistency is like ridiculous for this game.
Yeah, you see right there, he grabs the gold armor, and he's going to be using that when he fights Shielder. Well, now he's not, because he just lost it. So we'll see how he chooses to handle this here. Being very careful.
Those earthworms are really tricky. It's very rare for them to go up like 2 platforms height like that, but it does happen from time to time. Oddly enough, the safer strat that Aquas uses is actually much more difficult to pull off to get to Shielder. It's a lot safer once you're at Shielder, though.
So Fred now enjoying the early lead, getting to the turtles first, having no problem with Shielder, despite not going for the gold armor. But like you say, yeah, going back and getting that armor set up and everything. Oh, and now Aqua's losing his armor again in the Shielder fight. Oh, and just runs out of space to avoid that fireball. So he's going back to the checkpoint here, as Fred is making his way up over the bridges. And he'll be getting to the checkpoint here very shortly. Coming up to our first Aremer in the game. Got loose a little bit, but Fred makes quick work of him all the same. And he gets the boost. All right, so we haven't seen the boost too much throughout the runs today. Fred gets it there, and that's going to allow him to get past really all of the bat spawns, all the fire bat spawns that happen there with the big fire pillar that will slow you down if you don't boost through there. But he gets through no problem. Fights Cerberus, and Cerberus is going to be done in just a moment here.
There's a theme in this game where the stages they don't look too bad if you fly through them at a good pace.
Right.
But as soon as you start sticking around for a little bit too long, things get extremely hairy. So that boost in stage 2 is critical if you can make it.
So Fred now on the elevator looking to get the dagger, gets Firewater to start. So that's obviously something he's going to want to avoid at this point.
There's an interesting, the way the item drops work in this game is they're based on the item you're currently holding, and actually the discus and the firewater have the highest chance to drop a dagger. So depending on the situation, it's not bad to pick up a firewater during the elevator.
Well, he does pick up the discus, and it does not get a dagger drop there. He gets the sword drop, so he's going to stick with that discus for a little while here. See what he can do.
Unlucky. It's only possible to get the sword drop if you're holding a discus.
Oh, so that stinks. So how would you say the discus rates as compared to the dagger?
For general purpose, the discus is probably better than the lance, but there's a couple of problem points in the game, specifically stage 4. So it's not great to pick up here, but like I said, he definitely picked it up to try to increase his chances of getting a dagger. But overall, it's still pretty safe. He should be in good shape.
Aqua's taking care of Cerberus, and he'll be joining Fred on stage 3, but Fred's now making his way to Gasudo here. He is on his way, and you see he's doing a little bit of fancy footwork here, jumping through the mouths, jumping right on that platform at like the moment it's spawning, jumping through onto the tongue, and he is at Gasudo, and he gets the nice favorable spawn there. And no problem. Gasudo going down and going down hard. And now Fred onto stage 4. And now we may see some of those issues as he has held on to the discus into stage 4 here.
He does get a couple of item drops, but he's going to have to depend on some luck here. The biggest problem with the discus is the hitbox is really large, which makes it... Oh, no. The axe pickup.
He gets the axe pickup, but then he immediately switches over to the dagger, awesome. So he's in great shape. Oh, and he gets past the worm there. That was looking very dicey, but he is holding on to this gold armor like his life depends on it. And it may. We will see what happens here. But, oh, he's gonna get through to the checkpoint. No problem.
No Arthur sandwich today.
Just waiting for that shot there to knock him down, and gets the left side drop. Perfectly done. Oh, and he does not go down the right side. Oh, he does. Okay, he didn't go down from the very top, but he jumped over to it. Oh, and barely hangs on to Ohm there. It looked like he was going to drop through on the left side there, but...
Those are some patented Fred strats. There's a chance where if you jump onto Ohm and try to clip up him the way Fred does, if you go too low, you can actually die, but then still be clipped up onto Ohm. It's very goofy.
That sounds like something that Ohm would do.
Yeah.
Oh, and Fred jumping a little bit mistimed there and takes the death. So he's going to have to start over from the checkpoint here. We get to see that crazy, silly drop again. Oh, no, he goes down the left side this time. He fooled me. He's been going for it so often.
It's pretty safe. I think Fred is the only player that actually uses that strat. Fred is a great runner. He's not as experienced with this game. He's primarily a Super Ghouls runner.
Right.
But he actually did come up with a handful of strats for this game. Ones that actually get used regularly. Like we just saw Aquas doing, jumping through the bones and avoiding the chest spawn at the start of stage 4 was a strat discovered by Fred.
So now Fred's taking on these 4 Areemers really at the start of the stage, and why don't you talk a little bit about how you have to handle the Areemers in this game, because it's really nasty if you're casual, but you guys make it look like it's nothing.
Yeah, the way their AI works, I guess, is just designed to make life hell for someone who's actually trying to kill them. So you always have to let them make the first move. I think the Areemers in this game are the easiest among the whole series if you know how to deal with them. Otherwise, they can be really annoying. If you're constantly firing daggers at them, as any casual player probably would, you'll basically never hit them. But Fred got a really strange boost there off the pig. Clipped through the vomit hitbox and got boosted to the right, which is very favorable. I don't think Fred was expecting that, but it worked out well for him.
Fred now taking on these shielder heads. And he is making his way towards the end of this first loop here. And it's still in a pretty good lead, although Aquas has jumped back in a bit here. He is at the start of stage 5 right now. Oh, and gets hit by that bone dragon, so now he's in a little bit of a jam, but oh, gets the steel armor right back, so he should be able to boost if he would like to. We'll see how he handles this. Oh, but then the dragonfly says, no sir. And now Aquas is hanging on to this one best he can, but it is Fred who gets to Beelzebub first. Got his doppelganger out, but no one cycle there. See if Fred can put him away here. Looks like Bub's going to get a 3rd cycle here. Yes, indeed. And you see him shooting those daggers there. That sends the flies going above his sprite right there.
Beelzebub is a boss that we haven't figured out yet. He's extremely random, and you can lose so much time here if he decides to just fly away from you. Nice kill from Fred.
Aquas there using those very limited iframes from casting magic to allow the fire to go through him, and gets through both shielders. Now he'll be looking to wrap up this bub fight here in short order. But it is Fred who is through loop 1 first. He'll be getting going in loop 2 here, seeing that vulture very quickly.
The only difference in loop 2.
The only difference.
A single vulture, which is hilariously placed like right where you would jump into him.
Yep. I have definitely died on him on occasion. Aquas now naked, fighting Beelzebub. Something he's done probably hundreds of times.
Beelzebub's not being very friendly today.
No, indeed. I think you had a pretty quick kill on him last race.
After dying.
After dying, right. But you know, you ended up with a quick kill all the same. But yeah,
Fred going for some straight safe strats here. I think he might have accidentally killed his boost plant.
You get going in the heat of the race, and you know things like that can happen. But he's too shielder, and he's got. Oh, he killed him, but no, the fireball got him right as shielder was dying. Normally in this game, when you defeat your bosses, their attacks are no longer valid. They won't damage you, but he got hit right as he was casting, or he's throwing that dagger, and just did not time out well for him. So he's got to go back to the checkpoint, and now Aquas is gonna get real close back into this one. We are just a checkpoint separated here, folks, as we get going in loop 2 of this round 2 matchup in the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only tournament here on RGL TV. I'm Enemy alongside Zed Ahmad, one of our racers here today, and we are bringing you the action here as Fred gets back to shielder, keeping that distance, and no problem that time. Looks like Aquas is foregoing the golden armor this time. Under a lot of circumstances, you would have gold armor at this point. But he was naked when he went to the Beelzebub fight. Chose not to do his loop 1 strats there. And now he is at shielder. And we'll be putting him away very quickly here. As we expect. No problem.
Shielder's probably one of the most complex bosses in the game. The number of things that he can do is ridiculous. Being truly prepared to fight Shielder for any circumstance really takes a lot of effort and experience of the game.
Plus, he's just a big, scary dude. So if you're not experienced, you're gonna get to that first boss and be like, "What? This is the first one." Jeez. Fred losing his armor there, so he's not going to be able to do those boosts, as we talked about in loop 1. Or he was able to do them.
Yeah, but the fire bat spawns here. If he gets unlucky, it could be really tight.
Yeah, but he had no problem, and he's now on to Cerberus. And Cerberus, what would you say, easiest boss?
He's a pushover. The biggest thing with Cerberus is that his pattern is solely dependent on what you are doing as the player. So in the speed run, he does the exact same thing every time. All of the difficulty in this game comes from the randomness in the enemies.
Fred getting through and, of course, retaining the dagger here in loop 2, so he'll be good to go. There's the 1-up. Goes ahead and grab that.
Very nice. Cruising for a 1 crit clear.
That firewater is in a bad spot. Before I can even finish saying it, and look at the luck on this guy. Immediately grabs a firewater, gets knocked into it, but a dagger was waiting right there in the chest for him to grab. Fred using up all of his luck in this race right here, Zed. Meanwhile,
like I said earlier, with the fire water, your odds of getting a dagger are better,
right?
But definitely not in his favor. That was really, really lucky.
Yes, indeed. Aquas now on his heels. He is making his way up the elevator. This first section, about to make the turn here. But Fred is now going through the statues. Oh, looks to jump over that chest, but didn't quite have the height there.
That's good. He took the safer approach to the chest jump. If you're early, you die. If you're late, it's not a big deal.
Oh, he didn't quite time that platform out so well and falls to his death.
Oof.
And now Aquas is right behind him. Mere seconds separating these two at this point.
Stage 4 is going to be very interesting. It's probably the biggest differentiator of time in the run. And with them being so close now, we're probably going to see a bigger gap in a couple of minutes.
We have seen a lot of back and forth through all of the races pretty much so far today.
Yeah, it's an exciting game to race because there's so much that can go wrong.
A nice downward shot to kill Gasudo there. And yes, Aqua's taking the lead though. And now he is jumping out early here, but jumps into the spikes, loses his armor. And now we are in lockstep right here. The only difference is the armor here, folks. Wow, this is this is darn near synced up. Aqua's getting that steel armor back, looking to avoid some of the nastier enemies here. Looks like Fred's gonna have a nice clear path here. Well, got a couple shots coming from behind. Oh, and Aqua's losing that armor again. But he will take the quick death. Yes, indeed. Fred hanging on. And he misses the first boost opportunity. But there he gets a second one. Still a couple seconds ahead.
He recognized he was maybe a little bit too far to the left there, playing it safe, keeping his lead. And taking the little big jump. And again, with the clipping, this guy is... he's rolling the dice here a little bit. Oh, we got a worm despawn on his left side there. He looked like he was trapped. I think he was ready to give up a death there, but extremely lucky the worm despawns. On this stage, a lot of the elements on can despawn because there's so much going on in this stage. It's usually not a great thing to see because as soon as you start seeing enemies despawning, there's a slight chance the game will reset here.
Oh no.
It's very rare, but it's happened in races before.
Well, we were expecting some separation between those two after that stage, but not so, as these two once again are neck and neck, both grabbing the armor within a couple seconds of each other. Fred hanging on to maybe not even really has a lead because you'll see his timer is a couple seconds ahead of Aquas. So these two are basically right with each other. Get that Psycho Cannon, but loses armor for the trouble, and now Aquas is going to be a little bit ahead, maintaining that armor. And should be able to get to the checkpoint, no problem. We'll see how Fred handles it. Oh no, the sword pickup for Aquas. Now he won't have an opportunity to get the Psycho Cannon after the checkpoint. He's not in any serious trouble right now, but that is a little bit of a misfortune coming Aquas' way there. And he will take the death now. And now Fred technically in the lead here, but it is very, very little time between these two right now.
Slight time loss for Aquas, especially because he has to wait again for the Psycho Cannon to spawn. But one thing to note here is that Fred didn't actually take a death at this checkpoint, which means the difficulty is going to be a lot higher during the boss rush at the end. Let's see how he handles that.
And that is, of course, a really nasty area to have the difficulty be anything at all because there's just so many of them swarming around you.
All of the runners in this game, even when going for, their PBs, will usually take a death at that last checkpoint on the stage for that reason. It's a lot safer.
Fred now getting into Bub naked.
This is scary.
Trying to get those flies to go above him. He does. There's another shot.
It's very difficult to get the flies to go above you with the Psycho Cannon because the hitbox is so large it kind of gets stuffed by the flies in the front. So just surviving on Bub with naked Psycho Cannon is super tough.
Looked like he was going to be able to jump over that one, but it hung just high enough where his landing was right on top of the tippy top of that projectile. And now Aquas is going to be able to get to Bub, has the Psycho Cannon, and we will see if he can put him away. He does have the armor here. He's at a great advantage. Oh, and he, no problem, get that quick kill. And from the jaws of defeat, it looks like Aquas may snatch a victory here. This Loki fight.
In true G&D fashion, the final boss is a complete pushover.
That's right. And there it is. There is the kill with an official time of 19 minutes and 18 seconds for RaceBot. Aquas coming back on this one and grabbing that victory. Excellent, excellent race. Let's see how Fred closes this one out. He's fought very valiantly in this one. See if he can't put Bub away here. Yes, he does. And he gets that nice catch. And now he says hello to Loki. And goodbye to Loki. With an official time of 19 minutes and 53 seconds. An excellent, excellent job out of both of these racers. But congratulations to Aquas for earning his second victory here today. And he is in great shape right now to head to the finals. I think he may be guaranteed a spot in the finals at this point. We'll see what happens.
That was a fantastic race.
Yeah, awesome job out of those guys.
Aquas, despite being third seed because of his place on the leaderboard, is definitely the favorite for the tournament today. He is, bar none, the most consistent player of this game, and the most experienced as well, which is really important in a race setting because unlike doing attempts for personal best, you can't just reset when you run into a situation you're not familiar with. And Aquas is familiar with definitely most, if not all, situations this game can throw at you.
All right, so let's go ahead and update our standings here real quick, and then we will show you guys where we're at. Let's see. There we go. The challenge decided to be a little slow there. Okay. 1918 and 1953 within a minute of one another. A wonderful race.
Super exciting run.
And there we see. Round 2 is complete. DOSBoxFalco getting the win against you, Zed, in the closest race by far. I mean, that round 2 was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Was nuts.
3 seconds separating the two of you, and then Aquas and Fred, less than a minute separating them. Great job all around. But now we are moving on to round 3. So let's scroll that up on the screen. This will be our final round before the finale. We have you is taking on the man who just raced and just lost to Aquas. You versus Fred coming up here, and then Aquas versus DOSBoxFalco to round these things out in the round robin portion of the tournament.
All right, well, thanks for having me, Enemy. I'm gonna go prepare.
Alrighty, man. Good luck to you.
Enjoy the race, guys.
All right, so we're gonna get everyone set up on the race side, and we will be right back with more action here on the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only tournament right here on RGL TV. Stand by, everyone. All right, everybody, we are joined now by the man who just won in his second race. It is Aquas joining us on commentary here in the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only tournament. Aquas, welcome in.
Yeah, hello there.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Wonderful. Well, you've had a great tournament so far.
Yeah, thank you.
So what do you expect?
Well, fun times.
What do you expect between Fred and Zed here, besides us misnaming them a couple times?
Well, from what I've been seeing with the various races, like, pretty much anything can happen because of the time deficits from the deaths in this game. They're so major that it really makes the races fluctuate quite a bit. So it could go either way. I can't call it.
I mean, we've seen that throughout every race. They could go either way. I mean, those last two races were so close to one another. But we're gonna get.
There's player skill, but there's also the game skill against you.
Yes, indeed. So we are.
And that's RNG. That's RNG, and then how you handle the game the bad situations, whether it be like an angle of a fire bat or something like that.
We are off and running here with our first match in round 3, Fred versus Zetamod. And tell us a little bit about this opening bit here.
Well, it's pretty straightforward. Not too much to look out for there. Fred takes a hit, but yeah, I mean the zombie spawns they're pretty predictable, like for the most part, and you can see the zombies come out of the ground. And you have like a few seconds to react to that, and then kill them before they come out. And then you go into the second checkpoint where, you can go for a damage boost, which I haven't been doing personally. Looks like Zed's getting the gold armor route this time. And Fred is having some issues here. But yeah, this particular checkpoint is pretty rough. If you're not just damage boosting through it. But the other thing is that Shielder, the boss, is also very random in his patterns, and it's like, do you want to save 8 seconds doing that damage boost, or do you want to waste 8 seconds for safety against Shielder with the gold armor? Then you might not even keep the gold armor, and Zed gets through. So yeah, for a fast-paced game. Oh no,
and Fred does
is
not.
too close.
No. It's so fun. I mean, there's stuff that as a runner, you would reset on. Obviously, we talked about that a little bit in the last race. Obviously, you can't hear, but that Shielder death is just so frustrating when you're a seasoned runner of this.
No, yeah, that Shielder death is rough. That's like a 40-second death there. It's a pretty big one next to the stage 5 deaths. Those are pretty big. This one and any death in stage 5 usually pretty big. Especially if you're at the last near the end of the checkpoint. I mean, obviously the boss. Dying at the boss is bad because you have to go back so far. And okay, there you go. Fred gets him. It's tough though. That Shielder, he's a trickster. He's got a lot of different little patterns he can do. Anyway, moving on. Turtles.
Yeah, and the turtles are random here in the arcade version, are they not?
Yeah, they are. You can kind of get to know their patterns, but like even for me, like it's just sometimes they just parade on you, and there's really nothing you can do about that.
Is that taking care of Cerberus there? No nice catch, of course. That's the one in the game that you cannot get a nice catch on.
Yeah, that's weird. Because you can get it in the Genesis version.
Right.
I don't know what's going on with that.
I like your explanation of it.
Oh, because the key is too hot.
That's right.
Too hot there.
Yeah.
Like a hot potato.
Makes as much sense as anything.
Yeah, the fire badge section is kind of rough too. Like you can do a damage boost from the flower enemy, and that if you can get that successfully forward, you can skip all the fire bats. But if you don't get it, you're then susceptible to the fire bat spawns getting in your way, and usually it's not too complicated, but they can get you. All right, Zed's got dagger. Taking a hit on the Zed takes a hit there. It's not that big of a deal. Typically, if you take a hit in the next checkpoint, you're just gonna die anyways, or you'll get lucky and maybe fall on the platform. But you usually just die anyways, and it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, what's also cool is depending on what weapon you have, it influences the drop rates of other weapons. So a strategy to get the dagger is to switch to the axe, which pierces through the goblins, can kill multiple at a time, and that will. The axe has a slightly higher rate of dropping the dagger than the lance does. It's just very slightly weighted. So yeah. Alright, that is through stage 3. Fred only checkpoint behind here. Nice, so Zed, he jumps past that worm there. That's a strat that he kind of invented for this game. Very nice. You can react to the worm spawn there and jump past it, and it's nice. It's kind of one of the meta time saves. It saves like, I don't know, a couple seconds. Oh no, Fred has a neutral jump on the tongues. That's a classic trap for this game. Because on that section where he did the neutral jump, you have to crouch to avoid taking an automatic ceiling death. And then once you come out of the crouch, you gotta, jump forwards. Very, very tough, literal choke point for casual and even experienced players, because you gotta do that input just right. All right, Zed's looking good on Ohm here. Yeah, he's got that. Looks like Fred's got Gasuto under control as well. Oh.
Just as you were saying that, he takes the hit, but he does get the job done. So you're right.
Yeah, the Gasuto, it tends to do the same thing if you just stay in the same spot, but if you move around a little too much, he might do something different. I think his pattern might be a little bit harder to predict in Genesis, but I'm not sure. Forget. Okay, Fred takes a hit on the worm, so it gets dicey, like where Fred is here. You either go very slowly through the section and then more worms spawn, or you just try to run past them and he gets past them, so that's good. Yeah, Zed is he's zooming through.
He's having himself a very nice first loop here. Of course, that bug fight is still to come, and we've seen that be a little bit nasty here from time to time. You use those iframes right there, and you have very limited iframes when you use your magic in this game.
It's not a lot, but enough to use effectively, thankfully. Dodge that fireball there. Oh, early flame from the Astaroth. Kind of an uncommon pattern there, but he reacts to it properly and crouches for a second. Nice. Nice positioning. Then the item... He breaks the item carrier right in the way. Thankfully, that wasn't a weapon. Like, you want to watch for that item carrier where Zed is, and try not to break it in your path. Otherwise, you may have to rely on the last chest. If you have gold armor, that will be a weapon for you. But if you get hit, you cannot use that. All right. Wow. Nice. Nice. Very good. Very good loop one. See if you can keep the momentum in the second loop. Oh man, that mosquito just got right over that dagger of Fred's.
He's hanging in there, though.
He definitely is.
Take
Once
that
again,
right here. There
if
it
you
is.
die in Shielder, that's 40 seconds, and that's instant. If Fred can keep up, it's instantly him back in the game. Yeah, these game overs, they take a bit of extra time, about 5 to 8 seconds more. So it's not ideal to take them. And it is good to have the credits already inserted, because the game has a bit of a pitfall in the continue screen, where if you hit button 1 or button 2, the pages on the continue book just rapidly flip, and you get an unrescuable game over.
That's happened to me before.
It's actually something I like about the continue screen.
Why do you like that?
Because a lot like a arcade mentality that people do is they'll just mash buttons after a credit.
Right.
So it punishes all those people that are doing that.
Yeah, punish typical behavior. I guess, you know what, if you're ever going to do it in any game, it would be in this game, though, right?
It goes with the theme of the game, is my point.
That's true.
It's just kind of a cruel little thing that is unnecessary, but is a thing. Basically, the game saying, oh, you know, you don't know what you're doing? Well, okay, well, you're not playing anymore.
Right.
Okay, correction, only button 1. Regardless, that's the attack button, so...
Yeah. That's the button you would be pressing.
Probably, yeah. Even if you do have credits inserted, I believe that still kills it. Well, because like in arcade games, usually when you press the button, it speeds up the game over tally, the continue tally. So the idea is it just, it just goes through it instantly. Just to further elaborate on that. Ooh, the fire bat. Yeah.
Yeah, having to sit through the the high score screen is a little bit annoying when you run out of the credit in the arcade version. You don't have to deal with that in the Mega Drive version.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll give Fred a little bit of an opportunity to gain a little bit of ground back. Of course, Zed is about a stage ahead right now.
Yeah, Zed's he's running into some bumps here. He's probably going to bounce back. I'm probably on a couple lives here. The fire bats, yeah, they do those ones that arc in. Yeah, they kind of come at a variety of different arcs, some worse than others, and can't quite cover every single angle all the time. All right, nice, Fred killed Shielder. With the dagger, you can get like nicely faster kill on Cerberus, but you gotta really nail all your hits. Zed was unfortunate didn't do that, but it's okay. Better than not dying, or better than dying. Yeah, one of the two. So Zed's looking good. What Zed's trying to do here is make sure he doesn't spawn a weapon in this choke point up here, or a weapon that's going to get in his way. On the second loop, these goblins do appear more frequently, and with that, more pots are being dropped with potential items in them. So, preferably just trying to get a weapon in your way.
You had no real issue with it. There was a couple weapons that dropped, but obviously, yeah, with that dagger, he's just going to avoid them all, and didn't have the big axe in the way, didn't have anything too unfavorable get there. No swords, obviously, since he didn't have the disc.
Yeah, he handled that nicely. Sword is not good to have
no.
going into this checkpoint in the boss. It's doable, but it's very annoying. Basically, you need Gasuto on the far right side of the screen, and then as it hugs the wall, you can get like 4 or 5 sword hits in. The sword is very powerful, though, and so that does count.
I definitely know at least one person who swears by the sword in this game. Not a speedrunner, I should point out.
It's a good weapon. It's just ineffective in certain places.
Yes indeed.
Kind of wish Super Ghouls and Ghosts had a melee weapon. I was playing like the Capcom Classics collection, and I found some concept art for Super Ghouls and Ghosts where they're thinking of having a hammer melee weapon in Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Like, that would have been crazy. Pretty cool, actually. It's like a huge sledgehammer.
Thinking of all the possibilities now.
Yeah. Well, it looked very unwieldy. So that checkpoint, Zed barely gets it. It's right past that little lip. Sometimes it can fail getting it by getting hit back with the crystals. Okay, so Zed fails the faster boost and going around. Not that big of an issue. He gets the backup armor. You know, that is, I do believe that is pretty helpful. Oh, and that projectile. Because the little worm thingies on Ohm, they're pretty random where they want to go, and sometimes they'll just pincer you, and there's not a lot you can do.
Yeah, I hate this fight. I hate it a lot. But you guys make it look like nothing because, you know, you've had so many reps on it. You can like kind of see what they're gonna do 2 and 3 moves ahead. But yeah, when you have just a little bit of knowledge of it, it's a real nasty fight. So yeah, getting that armor, I agree, really smart move. And Fred now winds up with the fire water, so you will see how he handles this the rest of the way through stage 4 and beyond, if he keeps it that long. Oh, and he gets the magician.
Yeah, it's
Fred now.
It's a serviceable weapon for this stage, really. Oh, ouch. Old man Arthur, rip. Alright, Zed is, he's still got a pretty damn good run on his hands here. I'd say. Sub 18 pace. Yep. Takes that Pig D boost into the checkpoint.
How would you say the Psycho Cannon compares to the other mandatory weapons throughout the series that you need to get?
I mean, it's pretty good. Like, and just like Super Ghouls and Ghosts, you know, the length of it tapers depending on your armor status. So gold armor, it's pretty nice. Has a pretty nice range with gold armor.
The sword is there.
And now he's gonna get this chest and then get back the Psycho Cannon. He did this earlier.
Right.
Only works if you have gold armor here. So that's... Ooh, nice.
He was very close to losing that gold armor there, but of course he already had the goddess there, so he would have been okay.
Clutch magic. But it's good. It's better than the Super Ghouls and Ghosts Goddess bracelet by a fair bit, I would say.
I completely agree. It's cool that you get 2 of them on screen at once.
Oh yeah, it would be really cool if that was the case in SG&G.
Oh man, then it would be dominance.
Yeah, it would be pretty damn good.
And of course, in this game, you know, because all projectiles can go in 4 directions, that helps a lot. But there we see, we talked over it, but Loki goes down and goes down hard. Zed picking up the win here.
Yeah, good stuff.
Congratulations to Zed, and with that, everybody has at least 1 win so far today.
That's good. Good.
Yeah, I mean, we have such a high level of talent in today's pool that, you know, you're going to see some ups and downs for sure. So it's great to see Zed, who is just an amazing runner of this game, get a win here.
Yeah, I hope people are enjoying these races because, yeah, really a lot of different stuff can happen in this game, and it's interesting to see how each player adjusts to what the game can do. Like, it really is a different, you know, no single game is ever the same. Really, ever. It's just got that, spark of G&G randomness that you grow to love. Oh, Fred doing the Arthur Butt sprite for a moment. Every G&G game has the butt sprite on the ladder. Just fun fact.
That's lore.
It's a series tradition.
Yeah, that's lore. You know, you have to respect the lore.
Just like the boxers with the hearts on them are like lore.
Right. even though they very rarely have discernible hearts on them. They barely have dots on them in most cases.
Could be strawberries or
Sure, just polka dots, you know.
Or just dots.
But we all see them as hearts, of course.
Well, you had those like troll guys with the hearts on their arm.
Right, yeah, the big ogres in the first one.
Like the I love mom like heart tattoo. That's what
this series is so weird.
That's what it makes me think of. Well, they're having fun with that for sure.
Yeah.
Like, how do we make this like kind of intimidating enemy seem like a kind of a fun guy?
Those enemies stink too. The ogres are one of the worst enemies in the series in my mind. They charge at you and they drop those projectiles down. They're like worse pigmen, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
He snuck past the
that was
laser
a
just
good laser
barely. And comes in with an official time of 20:03. So congratulations to Zed for closing it out, or congratulations to Fred for closing it out. I knew I'd mess it up sometime. But it is Zed with a 17-minute and 33-second time. It takes this one. So let's go ahead and update you guys here real quick. There we go. With what we got going on. So there we see Zed Ahmad taking the first match here in round 3. We have one more to go. And Aquas is going to step away and take care of that business, taking on DOSBoxFalco. So a match of titans for sure. The world record holder versus the man with all the race strats. So we will see what happens. But Aquas, thanks for joining me for commentary, and good luck to you in your race.
Yeah, my pleasure. Enjoy.
All right, guys, and with that, we are going to get the next race set up for you, that Aquas and DOSBoxFalco race, so we will have that up in just a few moments. Thanks for watching. Stick around right here. It's the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only Tournament on RGL TV. All right, here we go with our next match. The final match of the round robin portion of the race, or of the tournament, excuse me. DOSBoxFalco, the world record holder, versus Aquas, the man with the race strats. And we are off. Once again, as you heard from the experts, not a whole lot going on in this early going. We have this boost coming up here. Aquas, of course, will probably be going for gold armor strats, as he has done so far throughout the race. Some safer and not safer strats. And we are joined once again by Zeta Mod, just taking that victory against Fred.
Hello. This should be a really interesting one.
Yeah, man, we got, like I said, we have the guy with all the race strats and the world record holder is squaring off. So really, I mean, just like we've seen in every other race, anything can happen here.
Yeah. DOSBox taking a really weird path up stage 1 there, backup strat. We're going to see the one hit KO from Aquas.
These guys are hanging close. You know, it's the early going, of course, but we have seen, you know, bigger leads certainly at this point already in the race. So these guys going over the bridges at the same time. And of course, these bridges have lots of collapsible tiles. They know where they are, though, so they're just jumping past and not even worry about it.
Definitely one of the more frustrating sections when you're playing this game blind.
Oh, yes. Your Reamer, of course, no problem there. And Aqua's getting the boost, so he'll be charging up forward, getting past all of the fiery bits, and on to Cerberus. Not so lucky for DOS, as he has no armor here, so he can't do the boost. But it looks like he's going to have a pretty clear path through there, so not too shabby.
It's going well for him. Aquas is on a really good time right now.
Aqua's just jumping in the big fire there, so if you ever wondered if that fire can damage you, it can't. You're fine. Go nuts.
I don't know if this was mentioned before, but stage 2 is, for some reason, the only stage where you can't get a nice catch on the key.
Yes, oh yes.
As Aquas says,
yep.
It is widely believed that it's because the key is simply too hot from the fire.
That's right. That's the best explanation I've heard of it.
Yeah. It's a logical game.
DOS with the axe. Aqua's going back to the javelin there. And now,
that's a good safety strat. It is more likely to get the dagger with the discus, but if you're stuck with the discus, it's not great. So sticking with the lance is that's a decision that I think he's happy to stand by.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like a lesser dagger in some ways.
Yeah.
The lance. So it's the reason it's a basic weapon. It's the Mario of the GNG weapons. It's
Exactly.
the middle of the back one.
It's reliable. It doesn't have the highest DPS, but what it does have going for it is that unlike the daggers, it always shoots in the same height. The daggers kind of come out in a volley at like random heights, and sometimes that can actually get you killed.
Yep, it sure can. So Aquas now will be getting to the checkpoint first, but only by a few seconds here, as DOS is keeping it very close in the early goings here.
So with the dagger, DOS has an opportunity to make some time back here, especially at Beelzebub.
Oh, but then right as you say that, Aquas grabs the dagger, gets the fortuitous drop right there. And
awesome.
it looked like he was going to fall off that platform there, but the lip saved him there. He's able to jump through these mouths, and he will be getting onto Gasudo here. And of course, when you don't die here, you get the more favorable pattern. You get that upper right-hand corner spawn, so you can get some hits in a little bit earlier, right?
Yeah, you have to actually jump through that last gargoyle head. If you
Oh,
take
I see.
the
Okay.
extended path, yeah, up that tongue, then you don't get it, and you can't get the one cycle kill. Another strange thing about that stage is that if you're entering it for the first time, the platforms are very consistent. Uh-oh, this bone strat going south for Aquas.
He had to turn around and go back. Oh, and now there's a javelin in his way. He's just going to grab that, not even sweat it. Oh, and lose his armor on the way down there, so he may be in a jam here.
Could have definitely been worse than the lance. And getting boosted to the right is not so bad.
No. And there you go. Grabs that quick death at the checkpoint to get his armor back.
I think it's actually preferred to die here on a race because keeping high rank from here through to stage 5 can be really rough.
Do you still maintain your rank even if you're taking hits like Aquas did there? Or is it just based on dying?
Only on deaths.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. But DOS is to Ohm first, and he is putting a heart on that left side, avoids the worm, so he should be able to get over to the safe spot. There is no safe spot on the left side, no matter what I say.
It's a trap and an illusion.
It just it works out surprisingly well most of the time.
It does, yeah. But when it doesn't, it's a
yeah. But there we go. Despite getting to Ohm second, Aquas is through it first, and we'll.
Yeah, Ohm is, I think, the biggest RNG time loss in the game. A lot of the other RNG in this game is kind of like, you know, the game's going to throw you a curveball, and the goal is to survive. But with Ohm, you can't, like, you can play around the RNG, and all you can really do is survive, and you're just at the mercy of Ohm losing you all your time. Whereas with like Shielder and such, you have that curveball to deal with, but you can still kill him really fast. Ohm, you just have no opportunity. Same goes for Beelzebub. So usually that's where in races, if both players are playing really well, where a lot of the time loss comes from.
Speaking of both players playing well, they are neck and neck right here. Of course, Aqua's maintaining that gold armor, but looking for a dagger. DOS getting his armor back there, but has the dagger, so he's in pretty good shape. Aqua's getting to the checkpoint first, and DOS right behind him.
I think Aquas is a little torn over picking up that discus.
It looked like he was thinking about it.
It increases the chance of getting a dagger, but it's really, really bad at killing Astaroths. The hitbox for an Astaroth is like a narrow box on his face somewhere. Everything above and below is impenetrable, and the discus is a really wide weapon, so it doesn't end well.
Well, it ended pretty well for killing those shielders right there with the magic, because he just made instant kills out of them. No problem whatsoever.
Which he can actually also do to Beelzebub with this weapon, so he might see a one-hit KO.
Well, this is exciting now. Oh, but then he gets a dagger right there, so...
Okay, that's preferable. You can one-hit...
Yeah, but we could have seen something cool.
Yeah, you're right. You can one-hit KO Beelzebub with the magic on 3 different weapons: the sword, firewater, and the lance. Lance obviously being the safest.
This will be interesting to see how it breaks out, because look at that quick kill right there. Didn't even lose armor. He had the lance in the field of play. He could have potentially been knocked back into it, but no problem whatsoever. And look how close these two are. This is crazy.
Really good one-cycle kills from both players. Bob being a little more friendly towards the end of the tournament.
Just a few words separating them. I think this is the closest we've been at the end of the first loop across any race today.
DOS his timer is 3 seconds ahead on the stream. They might actually be like pretty much exactly tied.
Exactly.
Ooh, neutral jump there from Aquas, but he recovers. One of the most dangerous things that can end up happening in this game, the accidental neutral jump. So stage 1 looking, same as always, just jumping and shooting. An interesting thing about the speedrun is jumping in this game is roughly 12% faster than walking, but it's also the most dangerous thing you can do because, as in all G&G games, you have no control over your movement after you jump.
Right. Yeah, you are committed once you jump. I love that it's 12% too.
Yeah, it's a very weird... Adds up though over the run.
Oh yeah,
actually,
of course.
It's not even really just the raw time save. It's super important because there are certain parts in the run where you need the extra speed from jumping to make it to a cycle.
Well, that sword's right in Aqua's way, but he makes it over.
That's actually a very difficult jump to make.
It really is. Yeah, again, you only get the single jump in this game, so if it's in Super G&G, no problem. But in this game, you got to be on your points, and no problem for him.
So DOS again in Loop 2 had the same rough second checkpoint for stage 1, but he made his comeback last time.
Yeah, aside from the armor difference here, this is almost a replay of their positioning relative to each other in Loop 1, so we will see how this plays out. A lot of race left to go here, but they're keeping it close, as we've seen so many times throughout all these races today. We would expect nothing less from these two very talented opponents.
Neither of them messing around with the boost. So about rank in this game, basically the game has an internal, it keeps track of how well you're doing basically, and the game becomes more difficult the longer you survive without taking a death. And that's really important in the speedrun to be aware of where your rank is, because it kind of changes certain strats, makes certain areas a lot more difficult. So the reason you don't see that plant boost in every run is because of the rank. It's a strategy that doesn't work if you're slightly too high rank or slightly too low rank. So unless the run has been extremely clean up to that point, they probably won't go for that jump.
How much are you consciously keeping track of rank when you're going through this game? Or is it just something that's like, it kind of becomes inherent as, you know, you do more and more reps?
It becomes kind of a second nature. You can tell by looking at the enemies, like Aquas is on pretty high rank here. You can tell by looking at how many goblins there are. They both are, actually. There's a couple of key points in the game where you have to die intentionally, and usually that's on the stage 5 second checkpoint and the stage 4 checkpoint. Those two deaths are pretty crucial in the run because, you know, a deathless run sounds great, but it can all go really wrong once you get to the end of stage 5 if you've gotten there without dying.
What's some of the things that can happen if you get there deathless?
So the way all the enemies in this game work is they have kind of a list of things they can do, and there's just a delay between doing those things. And when the rank goes up, that delay becomes smaller. So random projectiles appear more often. I think projectile speed actually goes up as well. A lot of enemies' movement speed goes up. Random spawns become more frequent. It doesn't affect bosses, but the stages become a lot more difficult, especially with random enemies, with the skeletons, the dayflies, goblins. Dealing with all of that is really tough as it is. So with high rank, it can actually be like more than double the spawns. Oh, narrowly avoiding that firewater drop. Still a really close race.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're, you know, just a few seconds separating them. Aqua's hanging on to this lead here, but anything can happen. Certain. That Mudman was in Doss's way, gets through him without too much of an issue. Zed doing his boost down, or excuse me, Aquas, you're not doing the boost. Yeah, Aquas is doing the boost down.
Both of them skipping the D rank here. This is going to be an interesting stage 5.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with this home fight.
Particularly when they get to the pigmen is where the rank is going to start to show.
I see. Okay.
The pigmen will run faster, they'll react to Arthur sooner, so usually you can kind of just climb up the ladders and ignore the first two, but I don't think they'll be able to do that. They're going to have to deal with them. And there's also the dragonfly spawns there.
So it looks like about 6 seconds separating them when you adjust for, you know, their offset timers. Aquas hold on to this lead. But that is it right now. It is so close, and as we've seen many times here in Stage 5, oh, well, right there, Doss catching a little bit of that red reamer. And which type of a reamer are these, actually? I know they're not just normal red reamers. Are these jokers?
No, these guys are just the normal red reamers. The one that appears on Stage 2 he's called the red reamer King in this game.
Ah, King, okay.
Yeah, and it's Super Good Ghouls and Ghosts R. Where they have the weird Ghouls and Ghosts Stage 2 recreation.
Right, yes.
That's the Red Reamer Joker that appears
there. It is. Okay, that's the one.
I'm not sure if those two are supposed to be the same thing, the Red Reamer King and the Joker. I think they are.
I know there are a lot of different flavors of a reamer, but you don't want to really mess with any of them. You just, you know, there's a reason you guys kill them as quickly as you do.
Yeah.
You know? Not just for speed, but, you know, once they get loose, it can be a little bit nasty business. But now Aquas, he's making his way up here. That shielder room separating them right now.
I think this run has been pretty much perfect for him. The only reason he's not on world record pace is because of the race safe strats he's been taking.
We should point out too that DOS is going to have to get the or not the bracelet, the Psycho Cannon right here. So he's got to wait for the goddess. He's grabbed it, but now Aqua's wisely waiting to see if that was going to be a weapon drop.
Yeah, if you get that weapon drop and you have your gold armor, you can actually recover here. But
right, we've seen you do it a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, forced into that situation. Stroke of luck there. Didn't get the weapon drop. He would have had to restart the stage, or at least from the checkpoint.
Oh, and there it is. Aqua's through Bob.
Very nice. Wow, this time is amazing.
Oh, it does not get boosted up onto the knee right there. That's what he was going for. He's got to wait now. Oh, and he takes a death. Oh, but so does DOS.
Uh-oh.
DOS had the opportunity to jump ahead there, but no. Aqua should still be able to hang on to this one. And there he goes. Lucifer is down. And Aquas with a time, even after that death, 16:41 officially.
Absolutely incredible.
Just a crazy job out of Aquas, and we, you know, that's what we've come to expect from him. That's the level on which he operates.
Yeah, the consistency, man, it's unmatched. No one else can fly through this game like Aquas does. If you ever catch him streaming this game, you'll see him like picking up fire waters and axes and swords and just having a great time doing it. He's dealt with the worst this game can offer for sure.
Yeah, it's so important to have reps in a game like this because you know, I mean, it's one thing to, you know, have like a little bit of knowledge of how the game works, but there's so many different permutations that the game can throw at you, and kind of having that knowledge in the back of your head can make all the difference in a run of this game.
Yeah, there's so much of it too. I was trying to put together a small guide on this game, and I realized that I really can't, like, despite fighting Shielder like thousands of times, I can't really articulate what he does. Like, the things that I know are so hard to actually put on paper because it's so it changes so drastically, and there's so many different things that can happen. There
are like base facts that you should follow if you're a person trying to get into this run, but then, you know, you're gonna have to do some reps to figure out the rest. That's just all there is to it.
Just raw experience.
DOS with the kill there for the 18:09 official time. Congratulations to him for closing it out. But it is Aquas taking the win in this one. And we will see now where we are at through the round robin portion.
Sweet. So what's happening from here?
Well, we are going to see what you guys want to do. As far as we will have a finals coming up here. And we're going to see if you guys want to do it best of 3 or, you know, just, you know, straight up. It's up to you guys, of course, as the racers. And we'll go put that to the group here in just a second. But we'll switch over right here and show you guys what our standings are at after the round robin portion of the tournament. There you see Aquas 3-0. He has gone undefeated so far today. DOS, Fred, and Zed all 1-2. So, that's interesting. Let's see. Well, my friend, Mr. Zedamod, you have the lowest time overall, so it would actually put you in second place, even though it ranks you at 4th, because Challenge doesn't know how to handle times. It just thinks everything's points. So
yeah, I noticed that.
Ignore
5,
it. Yeah. So we just go by the list one. So narrowly edging out Fred, you would be in second place. So it looks like we have our final set: Aquas versus Zedamod for this one. That is our tiebreaker, the lowest times overall. So. We'll see what you guys want to do. We'll do it offline. We don't want to put pressure on anyone on the call here.
Sure, yeah.
So we'll get that set up, guys, and then we'll come right back with our finals here in this Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only tournament. Thank you so much for joining me again, Zed, and good luck in the finals.
Thank you very much. Enjoy. See you guys.
All right, we are joined here for the finals by the world record holder in this game, DOSBoxFalco. How you doing, DOS? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here. I'm not happy that I played as I did, but it was still pretty fun. Got a 27-minute run-in. That's a first. that is a first.
Well, it could be worse. That's a good run for me. So you're doing all right, you know.
True enough. But yeah, like the first time I ever got in this game was a 35, and I think that's the worst I've ever played. So that was the second worst time I've ever gotten. That's how variable this game is. Sometimes it just whips you and you can do nothing.
Yeah, that's the G&G experience right there. I mean, across all the games, really. You know, if it wants its say, it's going to get its say, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
Put a trademark on it.
All right, so we have our final set. Aquas, by virtue of going undefeated, is our number 1 seed now, our top dog here. And Zedamad, by virtue of having the lowest time of everyone was tied at 1 and 2. And he had the lowest finishing time, so he is joining Aquas in the finals.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I I'm okay with it, because I did nothing wrong, really. It was just kind of like, oh, I did the same thing. The game punched me in the face, and I had to say, oh, well, that's how it is.
I mean, and that's the other thing too. In these games, these G&G games, they have a tendency to have that snowball effect too. It's one thing for it to give you the business, but it does seem like once things start to go wrong, it's very easy for them to continue getting worse. So yeah, I mean that
I didn't let it get worse. At the end there, I'm very happy that I didn't, because usually I do, and you see what I did in the first race, which is get a 27 into a forfeit. But whatever.
All right.
Enough about my play. I really like seeing these two guys play. They are second and third on the leaderboard. Zed second, Aqua's third, but both of them just know so much about the game, so much more than me. And it's really fun to see their thought processes going into running the game. And we're starting. Well, yeah, a little delayed there. That's all right.
Yeah, we are off and running. We got Aquas and Zedamad kicking us off. And as I've asked everyone who actually runs this game, tell us a little bit about Stage 1 here.
Man, Stage 1 is very deceptive. Casually, it's very easy, but when you're trying to play it optimally, it gets quite difficult. Because first you have to dodge all of these random pop-up encounters, all the skeleton murderers and stuff. Then you have the imps, which sometimes just sandwich you and you can do nothing about, and you take a hit. Unless you have a lot of foresight. And then you have this right here where you have to take... Ooh, instead getting the worm there. But you have to just take a damage boost to do it the fastest way, and then the boss sometimes just kills you, sometimes he doesn't. Zed has a really, really particular strategy that he might do here. He is doing it, where he just kind of backs off. But if he'd shot a second fireball, he would have jumped in again, and it guarantees that you get through the fight, but it's quite difficult to pull off. Yo, the thunder while grabbing the key from Aquas. That's some swag right there.
Just about 4 seconds separating these two right now as we're getting into the turtles.
Oh, turtles. Turtles are also frustrating because they're completely random, and sometimes they just wall you for 10 seconds and you have to reset if you're going for a world record attempt. Which, yeah, it gets annoying, but overall it's not too horrible in a race. It's just a few seconds of variance. Good bridges. Zed had to jump for a little bit, but because he got better turtles, he's out faster. That's just how it is in this level. So, Enemy, I know you don't play this game competitively. I know you play Super Ghouls, but how do you feel about the Airmers in this game? The guy that Aquas just killed. How do you feel about them in this game?
They certainly confound me the most of the 3, 8, and 16-bit games. It's funny because Zed said, I think they're the easiest, and Zed would think that. But I can see why he says that. Like I understand their mechanics a little bit better, but they're when you're at like a kind of low to mid level at the game, you have to be pretty precise with how you set them up. Otherwise, they can get loose pretty easily, and then it can be a little bit difficult to wrangle them. And that's kind of the difference between high-level play and lower mid-tier play, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel with Super. You might think that the Super error moves are super duper easy because you play the game. Or at least not as incredibly difficult as I think.
Right.
But the super errors are just really difficult. I can't get my head around them.
I certainly have a couple of strats for different situations with the Arimers for certain. And, of course, you always have the dragon magic when in doubt in that game, which just murders everything. So, we certainly use that as safety for the Arimers in that one. And that helps a lot.
Yeah, I always forget that magic's actually good in that game.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I never use it because Ghouls in this game introduced magic, sure.
Right.
But most of the magic is god awful. You only get dagger magic, and dagger magic's good. It lets you clone. But for all of the other ones, they either make you get up close and personal, and they don't do enough damage, or they're like utility based. Like Axe has that explosion that does like 2 damage.
Right, which is great. It's a giant explosion and it does nothing.
Yeah,
I like the discus. I like the discus magic. That's a good one.
Oh yeah, easily the most useless magic in the whole game.
Here's a mirror.
I don't even know what it does.
Yeah,
it might reflect projectiles. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but you're not standing still, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never had it. Even when I was playing casually, I never understood what that wall did. So, yeah, joke's on me, I guess. Man, we have a really tight race here. They
are right with each other. You know, a couple seconds separating them on their timers, but I mean, you know, on your screen, like there's almost no separation. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I like seeing these guys play, because especially Aquas, he is the consistency champion.
Oh yes.
He pulled out 2 16s today, which is insane. I don't get that usually in 1 in 1,000 runs. 2 16s. So that's really, really good. And then Zed is really, really consistent until stage 4 and 5, and then he falters sometimes. But sometimes he doesn't, and then gets world record.
Right.
Which is what he's done in the past.
No, I mean all of you guys in the tournament today. I mean even Fred the newcomer. I mean he picked this game up really fast and got, you know, a very quick sub 20 in this game. So it just shows the talent level he's operating with. I mean he's he's the fastest non-Japanese runner of Super Ghouls and Ghosts in the world. So I mean, you know, nothing to sneeze at for certain. But I mean all 4 of you guys are just out of this world talented at this game.
Why? Thank you. Fred's a weird case because he kind of just picked up the game and got like sub 17 real easy.
Right.
Or sub 8.
Sub 18.
No, sub 17.
Oh, was he?
No.
Okay. Does he have a 16?
Yeah, he's a 1649.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that in particular. And he just picked up this game and got that time in like a few months. And I'd been playing this game for years. And I was like, what the hell? This guy picks this game up and in a few months gets a time way better than me. Whoa, is that almost nearly dying to home there? That's what I tried to do, but I died every single time I tried to do that.
I just try to survive the Ohm fight. I just try to not die by any means, and I go to the left side save point, which is not a save point, and usually it shockingly works out like 9 out of 10 times for me. That 10th time really sucks though.
Yeah, it really does suck. Anonymous says that Zed climbed to the top quick as well. Yes, he did. Everyone really that played this game went super duper fast, minus me. Like, Zed, within the course of like 8 months, got world record, and that was pretty insane because we thought Aquas' run was untouchable for a long time.
That's the nature of speedrunning right there. You know, thinking something is unbeatable until it gets beaten, right?
Oh, but it's such a solid run, and you need such good luck for it, too.
The fire water right in his way. He's got to pick it up, though.
He's taking it, though.
Oh, yes.
He didn't have to take it. He could have taken the damage boost from the pig. I guess... I don't know what he's doing. This isn't even safe. This is, like, bizarre. We'll have to interview Aquas after this and see what the heck he's doing.
Yeah, it's difficult to question what Aquas' strats are, you know, especially at this point today. But there you go. Takes a death right there.
His work. So I'm not gonna question it too hard, but like I think he could have saved time if he had just done the damage boost off the pig.
Maybe could have been, but he is sticking with the fire water for now. He is rolling through this first Astaroth, and meanwhile Zed on the right side of your screen taking care of the second Astaroth, and looks like he's gonna have first cracks at Bub here.
Hopefully. Sometimes this part is is very, very brutal, and you can do nothing about it because these goblins
Well,
that spawn are completely random.
there,
Kasuto's completely random. Yeah, he
the-
gets hit there. So, not much you can do. He's going naked into the not too bad.
And then right there, he catches the projectile right in the mush.
Yeah, I think you're a bit ahead of me, but yeah, he did get hit there. That's unfortunate, but that's how it is. Aquas then gonna have the second crack. Let's see what he can do. Ooh, yeah, these Kasutos, man.
And the
they're
chest
really...
blocks him, so now he doesn't have the dagger.
No.
And what is he dealing with Bub and the discus here?
Discus, it's basically knife, except you can only throw 2. That means its DPS at the range that you fight Bub at is automatically worse. Unless you're right in Bub's face, you're going to do less damage.
Right.
So that means you cannot do the 1 cycle. This might take a long time. You might... Ooh, he's getting sandwiched like I did. Yeah. If Bub had went to the right there, Aquas just would have died. Which is unfortunate.
He's hanging on, and he gets the job done. He gets the key.
Oh, finally, yeah.
Meanwhile, Zed is taking on Bub naked.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Man, that projectile dodge, that's ballsy stuff right there. Yep, and he gets the 2 cycle, and Aquas and Zed are only a few seconds apart. Probably like 5-7 seconds.
We should point out that this is a best of 3 finals, so if this match is close right now, but we have 2 more coming up, potentially 2 more. We will see. But,
yeah, min 1, max 2.
Right.
So we're still gonna see some good Ghouls action. I need to play more no reset attempts of this more often because at the end I was really feeling it, but like at the beginning I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to use the different weapons and stuff. Discus really just whoa, whoa, whoa! Why is it dark? Okay. Nice restreamer tech there, enemy. But yeah, I just don't know how to use any of the other weapons, and that's the problem with not doing no reset runs in this game. That's why Aquas is so good, and why he can just do race times as insane as he does, is that he can use every weapon that isn't the axe to maximum efficiency. Axe because it's the worst weapon in the game, by far.
Worse than the sword, even though the sword's a close range. I know the sword has power, but that being a melee weapon, you would think that maybe give you an inherent disadvantage.
Yeah, a sword, actually, you can use sword to do optimal fights on some of the bosses. Bub, for example, dies in 1 hit to the magic if you position it right. So it actually is faster to do compared to knife. And I remember... ooh, I didn't know that chest was there. Aquas picks up that armor from a chest I did not even know existed.
Yeah, he's been doing that all day.
Wow, okay.
Yep.
That's a strat.
He hasn't been doing that all day. Sorry, he's been getting gold armor, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah, wow. I didn't actually know that happens. Maybe that's why he takes the left side, so he can get armor there. Because the right side's faster, if you want to do a no damage attempt. But the left, I guess, has that armor, so... Okay, that's cool. Something to put in my race repertoire. So, did you guys talk about rank? I'm sure you talked about rank.
Oh yeah. Zed kind of gave us a primer on rank. So, but I mean, sure. I mean, what else? Anything else you have to say about rank? By all means.
Rank doesn't affect as much as you'd think. Rank doesn't affect these random dragonfly spawns, or the turtles, or the armor speed, or the firebat speed, or how many firebats spawn. But it messes with everything that's important. It messes with that green guy. Sometimes he'll shoot too fast, and you won't be able to get on the ladder, and you die. Lost quite a few good runs to that, which I didn't even know what happened at first. But then I looked into rank, and Fred was kind of oh no, Aqua's taking the death there. But there's that. And there's skeleton murderers. Any random spawn that pops out of the ground is going to be affected by rank. How fast they go, how long they stay, how many of them there are. It's weird and annoying, but that's how it is. Ooh, duck transformation.
Duck. That's right.
Yo, I got duck in I got duck in 1.5, didn't I?
Yes.
If I remember correctly. Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, right out of the gate. You got turned into the duck.
Yeah, I was... Man, I hated that run. That run sucked. It was really fun though, because I kind of just got to play humble for a little bit. I was like, yep, Ghouls is just telling me who's the boss, and I gotta take it. unfortunately, getting Duck here wastes no time at all. Yeah, he's not going to get Psycho Cannon.
No, not at this point.
Speaking of Psycho Cannon, we have a theory route that Aquas and I have delved into that makes you get a Psycho Cannon here in stage 3, which is what the task does, and then you take Psycho Cannon to the end. The only problem is that the 4th boss, Ohm, the worm slug one, if viewers are uninitiated, Ohm is really difficult to beat with it. So we would pick up a weapon in between, hope it's a good one, and so something like javelin, discus, javelin, discus, or knife, and then you would use that to defeat Ohm, and then get Psycho Cannon again. And it saves like 4 seconds, but like it's so much RNG at the end of the run that we're not even considering it at this point until we get sub 15. Man, theory routes, they're so cool. I love the theory behind this game. That's why I play in the task gutter all the time. And that's why Fred's probably my favorite guy in the community, because he does all the science stuff and he can tell me if something works or not. Yeah, pretty much everyone contributed there, but Aquas was the first one to think up what exactly was happening in that route and how exactly it could be achievable. So,
not that it would matter. Not that it would matter anyway, but you know, at that late point in the game. But can you assure the weapon drops based on the frame at which you collect the chest in this game, or is it just completely random? Because in Super Ghouls, I mean, it only matters for like the first weapon drop in the game because it's right away, and you have to get like your 3rd chest, I guess, in this game to get a weapon, or 4th, or I don't know exactly number. But it's a little bit in, so like you can't really set it up the same way. I'm just curious if it works like that.
I believe it kind of works like that. Fred did some science into this game and saw that RNG brackets are updated every 7th frame. So
okay. So it's a little bit different than they work in Super.
Yeah, I think it has to do with all the RNG in the game. I'm not entirely sure if it also applies to weapon drops. Again, science with this game is really hard with the arcade version because arcade tools are hard to come by.
Right.
But basically RNG changes 10 times a second, which makes a lot of things just unmanipulatable. No matter how good you play, you're not going to be playing within 6 frames of an established RNG bracket. So can't really do much with that. But yeah, we could contact taskers, but we haven't been able to. Because someone did a task in this game, took them 50,000 re-records.
Great.
Which for a 13-minute game in TAS is insane. That is way longer than you would ever consider doing most games for. Especially with a game where there's not a lot of TAS stuff to do. It's just RNG, all of it RNG.
Well, right now, things are breaking Zed's way. He is to the checkpoint here in Stage 5. He's got his Psycho Cannon, and he is looking in good shape. I mean, you know, we've seen a lot of runs turn at this point in the game, but he is in a good position right now. But Aquas, you know, keeping pace here. He's a little bit behind, but you know, he's rolling through, picking up the Psycho Cannon right here, right now. So we will see how this one closes out.
Yeah, both of them incredibly solid players. I've been blabbering on for this whole time, but these guys get work done. Like, they're going to get, if they both defeat Bub when they're supposed to, 17-minute times, which is really, really, really good. Not something you'd expect for a random no reset, especially with some of the luck these guys have gotten just in this run.
Well, Bub goes high there, and now Zed has to back off. We'll see if he can get this done here. He's staying tough here. Cool. He probably knows that Aquas is right on his heels, and he's not gonna like cede too much time here, as best he can. But he doesn't want to die either, and he manages to avoid the death there, and he will be on to Loki first. So it looks like Zed might be the first one to take down Aquas today. We will see what happens. Of course, we have seen people die on Loki, so you know, it's not a done deal. But you know, Loki is one of the easier parts of the game.
Yeah, I think I died to Loki. No, I didn't die. Died to Loki in my practice one.
And there we are. Zed Ahmad knocking off the previously undefeated Aquas with a time of 17 minutes and 27 seconds.
Now that is a solid time.
Oh, yes.
That's really
And
good.
whoa, how did Aquas avoid that projectile? It was right there.
What the hell? Why can't I get that good luck, man? That's insane. Oh, man.
Oh, right before this, he got 50,000 points in Double Dragon. He's just the wizard right now, folks.
Yeah, he is fantastic.
Absurd. Absurd.
I never ever see someone play this game like this. Like, Aquas is a different beast entirely from all of us. He just knows what to do in every situation. He's played this game for hundreds of hours more than everyone else. It's so insane. And there you go,
goes.
18-15. Pretty good.
Yeah, awesome
Pretty good
run.
by both. Yeah.
And with that, we are moving on to our second game. It'll be interesting to see now what happens. Can Zed have the monumental upset and take down Aquas 2-0, or will Aquas come back and force a game 3? We're going to find out here in just a second, folks. We're going to give them just a little short break, and we will be right back with the second match of this best of 3 finale of the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only tournament right here on RGL TV. Stay tuned, folks.
Mm-hmm. Man, these guys are too good, man. It's insane.
All right, we are back, and our racers are ready to go in this second match of the best of 3 finale to the Ghouls and Ghosts one night only tournament right here on RGL TV. Enemy here alongside DOSBoxFalco, bringing you the action here in this finals. Zed Ahmad pulling the massive upset here after Aquas went undefeated through round robin play, takes the victory. Zed now up 1-0 in this best of 3 finals. DOS, what the heck can we expect at this point?
Exactly what Aqua said beforehand. There's nothing to expect. You can expect everything and nothing. Whoa, that's a weird palette. Whenever, a fun fact, whenever you reset this game, it always like puts up the palette of something that's currently on screen. And the palette that Zed just had a few seconds ago was really, really weird. Fred says, can we expect the Ohm reset? Please God, can we not get the Ohm reset?
If it happens, I want it to happen to both guys.
Happen to both. What do we do then? Just pick straws and see who wins?
No, we just, they reset. They need reset and keep going,
Man,
or we would start the race over again from scratch. Like either way,
Man, that's
hopefully that won't be an issue. But now that we've mentioned it, commentators curse, right?
Yeah, I don't know if everyone knows what the Ohm reset is.
We talked about it a little bit with Zed, but yeah, go ahead and fill everyone in.
Okay, so for everyone that didn't hear what Zed said, basically, when you go into Ohm without dying at the checkpoint, there is a very small chance that a worm will despawn, and then when that worm despawns, there is a very small chance that the game will get overloaded or something like that. We don't know the science, and then will reset without your permission, which means that you just have to basically forfeit that match if it happens to you. Really, really frustrating. It's only happened a few times in races, in our Sunday races. It plagued, I think it was me and Aquas. So Aquas and I have both gotten it in a race. So hopefully lightning does not strike twice for Aquas.
I agree.
Hopefully Zed never gets it.
Well-timed call out of you, because lightning just struck that shielder on Zed's screen and down he went. And now Zed is on his way to see some turtles, and Aquas very shortly behind there.
Yeah, these guys have really good stage ones. Like, they're very, very consistent. I didn't die to Shielder today. That was actually a miracle.
Yeah, that's awesome. Actually, people may not realize that, but that's really good.
Yeah, Shielder might look like one of the easiest bosses in the game. He's probably one of the hardest. I would put him right behind stage 4 and 5. Like, he's in the middle of the road when it comes to bosses in this game. So, yeah, we got bridges again. There's not much to say about this level. It's a lot of RNG. Just to see who makes it out of turtles first, and then it's just the same exact thing every time going through. Not much exactly that can be extrapolated upon. These guys are getting some of the worst drops I've ever seen. Like, they keep getting torched in like these awful, awful places.
Yeah, right in the way, and they have barely enough pixels to jump over it. It's absurd.
Yeah, they haven't gotten. I don't think anyone got the 100. Or the hurdle jump, which is axe uphill when you're going through turtles. But besides that, pretty bad drops, pretty bad RNG all around. But lots of these players have just been making it work and playing really well around it, which is not an easy thing to do, I assure you. Zed looks like he's pretty far ahead, like 15 seconds. Again, 15 seconds can just...
Yeah, that's nothing. That's nothing.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You die once to a boss and boom, you're behind again. So, and it's really easy to die to a boss because for half the bosses in this game, you're supposed to go in with no armor. So one mess up and like, yep, you're dead.
Never thought of it that way, but that's true.
Yeah, you have to go into stage 1, stage 2, and stage 4 naked.
It's so ridiculous. Of any game, of any series of games, where you would think you would want to like give yourself every advantage, and then here in the speedrun, you're like, just lose the armor. It's faster. It's fine.
It is faster. And you need to do
of course. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's so dumb. This game is really, really difficult.
But I mean, yeah, the whole reputation of this entire series as being like one of the hardest series of games ever created, and like, let's just lose this armor here. Who needs it?
Yeah, let's make it more difficult on ourselves.
Yeah, it's.
Yo, I don't know if anyone's done this yet, but Aquas doing the long jump or doing the high jump, excuse me, with the dagger magic only works in the elevator. No one's sure why, but if you keep repeatedly jumping, that guy just levitates. It's pretty cool. It's like one of the few glitches in this game that you can actually exploit. Again, Zed. Oh, Zed doing a big dump off the tongue there. Still doesn't have knife, unfortunately.
I don't think we've seen a Digestamura all day. We've seen people die here, but I don't think anyone's been eaten.
No, I think I got a Digestamura.
Oh, did you? Okay, all right.
Yeah, in 2-3.
Oh, and Zed grabs the fire water on the knockback.
That was easily the worst luck Zed could have gotten there.
He was trying so hard to avoid it. He jumped up and over.
Sometimes
this game's ridiculous.
Sometimes you try so hard, it goes so far, but it does not matter.
Yeah, in the end,
it really doesn't.
It doesn't.
At all.
He had to fall, and he lost it all there.
Yeah. Aqua's jumping a little early and getting stuck, doing the classic me death there. I coined that because every single time I die in 1-4, it's there. Or at big jump, which I don't. Has anyone attempted big jump?
Oh, there's the mirror. Hey, hello, mirror.
Yo, mirror. Let's go, mirror.
Mirror strats. As you can see, it was very useful. Now, otherwise, Zed would not have gotten through that fight.
Yeah, sure. Oh, that freaking magic, man, so bad. He still doesn't have knife, but he's a trooper. He's getting. No,
but he's got the discus, and as we there it is, right there. As we've discussed, it encourages the dagger to drop more readily. So he does get the dagger there. Oh, but he gets a boost for his efforts. So give and take.
Ow.
What is the music doing right now on Aqua's side?
Oh, Aquas, he's the king of slowdown, man. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's slowing down to like 50%. What's going on? What's going on?
That is on his end, we should point out, just in case anyone's curious.
Yeah, what the? Come on, Aquas.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's...
Someone kick Mame.
Yeah.
I mean his arcade machine that he's obviously playing on.
Yeah, he's playing on a PCB, don't worry about
it.
No, Aquas, I don't know what he does to his computer, but he must run it on like super high.
He kicks too much ass at the game, and then for some reason Zed's screen gets frozen there because Aquas had this. What is going on right now?
Man, we're having some good times here.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties, folks.
Hey, if that's all the more technical difficulties we have, I'll take it. That's nothing. It's just funny, true. That's all.
Yeah, you're a restreamer. I know you know everything about technical difficulties. Man, it does not slow down. Yeah, but it shouldn't do that on regular hardware. Or, yeah, on regular hardware.
On actual hardware. Exactly.
It should not do it in MAME though. I think it does do it in PCB just a little bit, but not that much.
That was a lot. That was a whole lot. Yeah. Like the music got real jacked up there, so that was odd for me. I've seen a lot more of this game than I've played, and that was pretty surprising to me. I mean, you guys have seen more than I have, obviously, but
yeah. Well, we don't know anything about PCB. The only one that does is Costin.
Was Costin, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
so shout out to Costin.
Yeah, Costin intended to play today. His streaming PC ended up crapping out on him, though.
Yep, that's right.
He's the only guy that actually has a PCB, aka a real machine of Ghouls and Ghosts in this community. He has like a 1604, I think. Really, really solid time. On the cusp of sub 16, which is only by like 5 people.
Right.
Insane. Ooh, he tried to get the damage boost there. Yeah, Kasudo was nice to him. Whatever direction Kasudo...
Oh no, that's not gonna work. Nope.
Oh yeah, he got mega boned by those above projectiles. So now suddenly Zed's in the lead again, even though Zed was behind like 30 seconds before.
We've seen that so many times today, especially on this stage. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like no lead is safe in this game.
Yeah, and Bub is like probably one of the most annoying bosses because you do lose a minute and it's very easy to die to him. Oh, Zed's in a weird predicament right now. Yeah. Sometimes the goblins just hover there and you can do nothing. So yeah, I don't know what he would have done if
take a death. Probably
he could have taken a death, but then
I know he would have lost a ton of time. But I mean, probably going to lose if he got a bad weapon or something anyway.
Yeah, it's possible to one cycle this guy without gold armor, but it's quite hard.
I'm
He
assuming
basically
not
needs to
without
line up
being
perfect.
naked though. You can't be naked in one cycle him.
No, you can naked in one cycle.
Oh really? Okay. All right.
Yeah, he just has to fly low and not shoot at you.
Oh okay. So you just have to get the ideal RNG. That's all.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
it's just
it.
like the 1 in 2,000 pattern. You just have to get that.
Although I think we have seen it twice today. So.
Yeah, I got it once.
And
maybe
then
someone
Aquas
else
I think
did.
just got it on the last run. Or
Yeah.
I think on loop. I don't know. They all blend together at a certain point. I
They do
apologize.
blend
But
together.
but look at Zed coming away from loop 1 with like a one screen advantage on the cutscene here. Easy for me to say. So we'll
Yeah,
pop
he's
over
about
to his music here.
about 10, 12 seconds ahead, which like, again, like we said, nothing.
No, that's
Absolutely
nothing. It's not over until Loki's dead. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only safe time.
And not even though, because Loki can actually kill you after you kill him. He can shoot a laser when you can't do anything and you just die.
Great.
So that's called the unfortunate double kill. And sometimes you kill him right after he kills you. So Loki, it's a choke point. Some people, I think Fred was gonna get a low 16 in his PB, but then he died like twice to Loki, so he has a high 16 instead. It's probably the easiest boss in the game, but do not underestimate him because he will take a run if you're not prepared. Yeah, it is Fred's specialty. Don't worry, Fred. I was dying to Loki at even better times. I've died to Loki in a sub 16 attempt. Like, I was about to get 1530, and then I died to Loki and had to reset. It was unfortunate. Yeah, the classic epic nice dude. So, Shielder is a lot less threatening with knife. I don't know. Whoa, okay. Thank goodness. Fireballs just kind of disappear when Shielder dies, but
Yeah,
the Shielder is a lot easier.
It's one of the great
with knife.
things in this game when you kill a boss, I guess, except for Loki.
Except for Loki,
Yeah,
yeah.
then like their projectiles are no longer concerned. Coming from Super, that was a really nice advantage to have because you all the time we're dying after we kill bosses in that game. It's just if you play that game enough, you're gonna get killed by just about every boss after the fact, almost every boss. That's GNG for you. That's the GNG way. Anything that can give the player the business, the game will figure out to do. Professor F knows his way around.
Ooh, what I was talking about with Zed, or talking about with stage 2, with that guy shooting before you can get to the ladder, that just happened to Zed, and that was unavoidable. He couldn't have done anything since he hard committed to going for it.
Right.
Also, Aquas with the big foresight jumping over that sword, that would have been a huge time loss if he got that. But yeah, that's just how rank works. If you're on a really, really good pace, then I would advise killing that green guy unless you know what to do. And either way, it's really difficult to do that there, even if you do know what you're doing. So, oh, wow, neck and neck. Like almost the exact same time getting out of that stage. Again, that's just what a death does in this game. Zed was like 15 seconds ahead. One death due to something he couldn't control because he made one questionable decision, and then boom. Overall, though, these guys have been playing really well this run. You're. Why do I read the chat, man?
Don't.
I see.
Don't
I
do
see.
it.
My favorite Ghouls and Ghosts game is Final Fantasy VII.
No, stop.
No,
Stop.
I
So
prefer
a lot of hot action going on right now up the elevator. Look at this. Aquas has the opportunity to get the dagger, takes it straight away, and now, man, these guys, I mean, just armor separating them really at this point. They are, once again, as we've seen so many times across so many races today, in lockstep with one another. It's crazy.
Yeah, these guys are. Again, that's why I've said it a few times, but that's why I like seeing these guys race, because they're on such a similar wavelength.
Yeah, I mean, they're absurd. Their talent level and their knowledge. Oh, is that getting a little bit of music out of there? I love it. Man after my own heart.
Yeah.
Fred did that a little bit earlier. That was great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Best of 69? No, thank you.
Nice.
Nice. But ooh, getting hit there. Oh, he's gonna not take the death. I think the death is actually a bit faster.
Oh,
so.
and he jumps into a weapon and gets the disc.
Yeah, he gets discus. Oh, that is wow. He can turn into an old man as he plummets into the abyss.
The game hadn't had enough. He wasn't falling to his death. Also, got to get turned into an old man.
Not a favorable position.
No, indeed.
Whoa, I remember that strat. Wow, he did the doing the task jumps.
Oh, that was what did you say? Like 1 or 2 pixels off right there, like very close.
No, I know.
All right, less close than I thought.
Yeah, it was. You need to basically have more than half of your body in that thing in order for it to even be allowable for you to get through. So he was quite a bit off. But not a lot of people know that pixel very well.
No, I think fewer still would go for it.
Yeah, everyone just tries to go for it anyway, no matter what, because I think you have to. The tongue will go away after a while, and if the tongue's going away, it's just easier to die there. Alright, Aquas getting into the jumping boost from Zed. And actually making it work.
Oh, and he goes for it and gets it!
What? He gets big. Wow. Gets big jump. Probably like the first time today. That's insanity.
He's he went to the left there.
Man. Zed is just
something else. No, that stupid worm! Oh, go to hell, Ohm. Get out of here.
I'm telling you, Ohm is the biggest run killer of any game ever. Zed says that Ohm is his least favorite boss by far, and I can understand when I see everything that happens to him with Ohm. Yeah, Fred's saying, Zed, you gotta whisper, and you do have to whisper. It's just how it is.
What do you mean you gotta whisper? Explain to the folks.
Whisper. Worm whisper. You gotta have the worm despawn. But oh wow, that projectile just was going for Zed. Almost got shooters out here. Man. Oh yeah, Ohm is really annoying. Sometimes he just sandwiches you. Sometimes the maggots get you. There's just a lot of things happen.
Hey,
in this
what
boss.
a surprise! They're in sync.
Oh my god, come on.
What a crazy, stupid turn of events that I can't believe is happening! Except,
Wow.
Of course it's happening!
Of course, in this game, got this insane sync going on. How does this happen? I don't even know, man.
In a game like this, to have this sync, I mean, it just goes to show what level these guys are operating at. Because, I mean, the series of events that has unfolded for both of these guys, for them to end up in the same spot at basically the same exact moment is absurd.
Absolutely absurd.
Now, Zed has himself the Psycho Cannon, but unfortunately does not have armor. He will have an opportunity to get Steel Armor right here. So he's just going to make sure this pig's out of his way, get that chest, and Steel Armor is back. That'll allow him to do the boost up here if he chooses to. And looks like he will indeed. Yes, he goes. There it is.
And does it? Nice.
And so now, Aquas is just going to go. He says, let's do this. I have no time to lose. Aquas is in the elimination position right now. I mean, he's got to keep it rolling. But I mean, he's naked. It might have been worth it to lose this couple of seconds to ensure a little bit of safety there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what he's thinking, because Shielder can get pretty hairy with no armor, but it's Aquas. Come on.
I was going to say, if you're going to bet on one person to do this, you're going to say Aquas.
Yeah, if this was me, I would just put down the controller and it's nah, I can't do this. But Aquas, I know he can do this. And he probably will.
Zed taking the gold armor now. He's got through Shielder. We'll see what happens here. No nasty weapon drops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, he's going to jump through. Yes, he gets through as a points anyway. And we'll see what happens. He's got the gold armor. Aqua's got the steel armor back, but loses it immediately.
Yeah.
It is down to it, folks. What is going to happen here? This bub fight could determine everything. Oh, and Zed got bubbed down first. Could we see the upset, folks?
Wow.
This could be it.
What the hell? Zed going in with the super clutch 2-cycle with the gold armor.
Oh, and he gets hit, but he's got it done. He's got it done, Zed, with the massive
Congrats.
upset. The 2-0
Congrats
victory
to
in the
Zed.
finale, and Zed has come back and proven himself the grand champion of the Ghouls and Ghosts one night only tournament. Amazing. Oh, and Aquas taking the game over on Loki. Oh, but Zed, the amazing clutch performance in the finale, showing why he is one of the very best runners in the world at this game. Awesome job out of Zed. Man, these guys put on a hell of a show.
Aquas, the good sport, put in GG as his name for the game over screen. Good sport. Yeah, that was... Man, this was a really good tournament. I had a lot more fun than I thought.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, obviously, we want everyone who participates in our tournaments to have a fun time. And certainly, with the way this game goes, fun is not necessarily a guarantee. Sometimes things can get a little hairy, but man, just a great job out of all you guys putting on a wonderful show today. And hats off to both Aquas and Zed in particular for just an amazing pair of matches here at the end. It was certainly worthy of the finale for this event. So congratulations to both, and congratulations to our grand champion Zedamon. We'll see if he wants to hop in for a quick interview here. Of course, you've heard him a little bit throughout the day, but we'll see if he wants to jump on back in here.
Yeah, let's see if Zed wants to get a little thing here. Yeah, I think everyone just like absolutely crushed it today. Like everyone did so well with what they were given. I would say minus me, because I did some really poor stuff today. But
just the one. I mean, you got the one.
Yeah.
It was a shame that it happened during the tournament. Like, if that had been practice and you worked out those kinks beforehand, then you come in and you're like raring to go. And you were. I was like, I asked you after the first race, like, hey, do you want to take a quick break before the next one? Because I figured you might be like a little bit like, I need to walk this off or something. And you're like, let's go. And you did great. And you did great in the second time. So just goes to show. I mean, that's Ghouls and Ghosts for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't even had practice runs go that poor before. That was just
you said it was your second worst run ever. So I mean,
yeah, that was astronomically good. Astronomically good to show, to exhibit this game's stuff, because this game's stuff can be very brutal sometimes. So Zed's gonna show off something cool, which happens in like 30-40 seconds, and then he'll be hopping in here for an interview.
Oh, right on.
Man, gotta take a drink. Stuff is good. Yeah.
Just a programming note for everyone here real quick. We will be continuing our RGL TV broadcast day immediately following the conclusion of the tournament. Infinite Mystery will be back. I believe he's going to be playing some Diablo or Diablo 2. I'm not sure which. I'm trying to keep track of everything going on outside the tournament, but obviously my focus has been pretty singular here today. So stay tuned for that. He's playing through the DOSBoxFalco 2 games here for you folks. So we will be continuing on here on RGL TV, but yeah, Zed's gonna show off something here apparently in a little bit.
No, it's the secret credits.
Oh, right on. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, all this purple text, you gotta hold up and then both buttons.
Come back summer vacation.
Yeah, come back summer vacation.
I've never seen this before. I love this ending screen. This is my favorite ending screen in the series. Not my favorite ending, because Super Ghouls is amazing, but the ending screen is so good.
Yeah, and the music syncs up better and actually ends properly if you do that secret credits.
Oh, okay, so there you go. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if we can't get Zed in here real quick to say a word on his amazing underdog story at the end there. I mean, hard to call him an underdog. He's former world record holder, is currently second place in the world of this game. So technically, by seeding, he had the advantage. But I heard me again. But Aquas, of course, acquitting himself beyond well today, just out of this world great. But just goes to show how the tide can turn in this series.
Mm-hmm. Programmer, Professor. That was Zed.
Zed, you. Yep. It's all good. Well, speaking of Zed, Here he is, the man of the hour, the man who has conquered the beast himself and has proven that why he is one of the very best runners of this game in the entire world. Zed Ahmad join us, the grand champion of the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only tournament. Congratulations, Zed.
Thank you very much. You're far too kind. Honestly, Aquas had such an incredible showing, and you know, with the clean 3-0 in the round robin, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. Aquas definitely played out of his mind today, so it feels like Aquas won today. But thank you for the congratulations.
I mean, everyone had some amazing showings today. All four of you guys really put on a show, and I appreciate the hell out of it. But I mean, man, once you got that first victory, it's like okay, you know, probably see a game 3 here. You know, that'll be pretty cool. But then you're like, nah, nope, put the stamp on it. Let's go.
Yeah, incredibly solid showing in that final set.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. This is like how it always goes, except Aquas and Zed are reversed. Because usually in the Sunday races, it's like Aquas first, Zed second, Fred third, me last. So
yeah, Aquas is definitely the race champion.
Aquas, I don't know how he pulls off all these strats. I was kind of doing it at the end there, but even if I had died to Bub, I think he would have beat me. Like, I don't know what he does, but he has a special way of doing things. Zed kind of channeled some of that energy and took some of his consistency. Because Zed's either really consistent and gets like 18s and 17s, or he's not at all. So he's either Aquas or he's me, and and then Aquas is almost always consistent, and then I'm almost never consistent. And then I don't know. Fred's a wild card. He does whatever.
Fred is a wild card, man. Fred gets like the game over clips, and he starts doing all this funky stuff.
Yeah. Fearless and Fred begin with the same letter. That's Fred's style. He just barrels ahead like nothing's gonna affect him.
Yeah, Fred's the science guy for a reason. He just gets all this weird stuff that happens to him.
Making Professor F proud.
That's right. That's the other one that starts with it. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, Professor F's actually Professor Fred, and
that's right. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. Someone thinks he's a Japanese guy. Nah, he's Swedish. Turns out.
Yeah. Yeah, he just emigrated there for a few days so he can make this game. Yeah, apparently Aquas is going to come on.
Yeah, we're going to bring in Aquas too. I mean, we would be remiss not to have him say a word about that crazy finale, because I mean, he amazing job all day, including in those 2 games. They were so close, and you know, we would love to hear from him. So I want to point out real quick too, for folks who are watching on twitch.tv, that finale, that final race that just concluded, that was the 500th race that we've done with RaceBot on RGL TV. So that was a pretty awesome milestone to hit for a race like that. That made me really proud. So I was secretly, I was like, I hope it is the finals, because that would be a great way to go out on our 500th race to date on our RaceBot. So that was so thank you for that. But yeah, that was real cool, guys.
Man, this was a ton of fun.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. If I have to say anything about it, though, it makes me think maybe I should just stick to commentary instead of playing this game anymore.
Nah, I mean, a little bit of safety goes a long way.
I was playing safe that last game, but then Bob just shanked me.
Yeah, the game can still do that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we want to welcome in our runner-up today, the man who was amazing throughout the entire tournament, Aquas. Give it up, everyone. Aquas, welcome back, man. Congratulations. Great job all day.
Hey, thanks.
Awesome runs.
Yeah, both of you guys played great today.
Yeah, I want to look back and see what happened to Zed in his runs. I had like a chain of deaths in the tongue section, and I think the second loop, and I was like, uh-oh, that's looking kind of bad at that point.
Yeah, every time I look, we like desynced and synced back up like 3 times in that last race, I think.
Yep, it was like almost every single boss. You guys just like synced up almost perfectly.
I think
a few frames.
I think you guys killed Ohm on like the exact same frame or something. Like they was exploding at the exact same time on both your screens. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I got a little annoyed because Mame started chugging.
Oh yeah, we noticed, man. That was crazy.
I was like shaking Arthur to like let you guys know something was wrong.
No, we could tell.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with your setup, man, but you're doing that in the Sunday races too. It's weird.
It happens. Probably just Windows 10.
Gotta love
Good,
Windows
good
10.
old Windows 10. Oh yes.
Yeah.
I've lost
Blame
PB
it all on
attempts.
Windows 10.
I've lost PB attempts in this game to Windows 10 restarting. That's not a fun time.
Yeah,
That's
it
a great
was
time and all, but
no big
we need to
deal.
apply updates right now. So
Yeah, it's so good. I know. Listen, I know you're on Bub 2 and you're on PB Pace, but I mean, updates wait for no man.
this security fix, though,
I think we've all had the emulator like bug out on us during
Yeah.
like good runs.
Yeah, it's
Usually
been
it's like
insane.
one of those like things where like it just something pops up right and takes away the
the focus.
focus on the window.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah, and then people have gotten ohm resets and everything.
Ohm resets really are the best.
We
Ohm
did not
reset.
have an ohm reset today, so we
Nope.
avoided
Yeah.
that
Thank
possibility.
Some worm I think I heard Fred got a worm despawn.
I got a.
Yeah,
I
you did.
swear
You
I had a
got a-
double worm respawn. I think I
That's
got
some
both
smooth
worms
stuff.
to despawn.
Fred had a really clutch worm despawn. He was like trapped right in between two spawns, and the second one just never appeared.
Yeah, that's right. I need to look at mine again though, because I swear there was nothing for after the first spawn.
Yeah, that stage gets crazy. There's times where like everything, the platform disappears, the man-eater plants disappear. We've seen like the boss disappear, and then you soft log, or you have to kill yourself.
Yeah,
Well,
and
yeah,
sometimes
it's
the
easy to
platform
do,
disappears.
yeah. The boss not even like spawn in,
Yeah,
but
Sometimes the key platform graphic doesn't appear.
Yeah.
That happens on the
it
task.
looks like you're gonna fall.
Yeah.
yeah, the classic is when the platforms that you take down just don't
Yeah.
spawn in, and then it's like, oh well, I really could have done nothing. Well, if the top one despawns, maybe you can react to it and do like a big jump rescue or something. But
Yeah.
Big jump rescue.
that's the new meta.
Yeah. We only saw Big Jump a few times, but I think both the times we saw it, people did it, so that was pretty cool. Big Jump hard. I don't know. I find it hard. Costin says it isn't, and I don't know how he does it. But
Yeah, I saw you guys going for big jumps, and Fred did the little big jump.
yeah,
and-
it's small
I like
jump.
that strat a lot. I think Fred's little big jump is like safe and probably race optimal.
Well, he did die doing it once, so
Oh, did
maybe
he?
not.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
not
I was
entirely
trying
race
to-
optimal.
Incorporate it, but I was noticing that the execution is a little difficult on it. I was like,
Incorporated.
I don't know.
Oh, I think I'm thinking of the. There's like the firewater one, and then I think with the discus you can hit it from the side or something. Anyway.
Oh, he did it with Lance. I see.
Oh,
how it's-
Lance's, yeah.
That would be quite a bit more difficult, I think. So, yeah. Still, props to everyone though. That was really fun. More fun
Yeah,
than
that
I
was
thought.
great.
It was going to be. I thought I was going to get mad because I was going to play bad, but I ended up having fun.
Oh, I'm thrilled to hear that. I mentioned this earlier, but we always want everyone to have fun who participates. And just for any perspective, one night only tournament participant for some games going forward, we certainly have them. Usually a couple times a month. There you have. I mean, if people can have fun playing Ghouls and Ghosts, then you can have fun with other video games, because this game
Out
is a
of all
bastard-coded bastard with bastard filling. So I mean, whatever game you got, if you guys want to bring it to us and put on the one night only tournament, we love to host these events. So I mean, thank you. I mean, I love this community. This is my favorite series community in retro speedrunning. It really
that's
is.
so
So
creative.
I mean, you guys are all great, and I really appreciate you coming together and making this event happen. The top quality talent all throughout the day. So thanks, guys. I mean, you guys are the best. And
No, thank you, man. Enemy
Yeah.
has single-handedly brought so much attention to this series and has put together these events that make it so lively around here. It's fantastic. Like, it wouldn't be the same at all without Enemy.
Yeah, it was absolutely great
Yeah, it
to
is
see
nice.
this go on, because I recommended it. I was like, oh, let's just do a tournament because I'm bored, and then people were like,
Yeah, Enemy makes it happen.
yeah,
we're very
That's
fortunate
really
to have our good old RGL TV here, where we can host awesome stuff like this. I mean, it's one thing to do it, but then to have a place where we can make stuff happen, kind of on a whim. Like you say, Doss. We're coming out of the relay, and emotions were running high because that was so crazy. It's like, let's do another thing. And so here we are doing the other thing. And now we have the other relay that we're going to get set up. Spoiler alert. We're going to run that one back with some new games now this time. So it'll be interesting to see. So we're working on setting that up, folks. So
maybe before that relay, we're going to do, I'm going to do, neither Aquas nor Zed are in it, but there's a Japanese Ghouls and Ghosts tournament that's going on.
Right.
And
I didn't know about that.
Which will not be here for folks.
Yeah, it will not be on RGL TV. But if you want to get even more Ghouls besides this, which I don't know why you'd want to watch more, but if you do want to watch more, then you can watch that tournament. The world record holder for Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Malcolm, is holding it. So that's going to be really fun, and I can't wait to job to even more people when I go to that tournament.
Malcolm is so amazing.
Yeah, Malcolm's trying to get the Japanese community with the American community and put them all together through his translation skills, and that's really cool.
Gungnir himself. Yeah. Speaking of all these events and
skills,
yeah,
that was very well phrased.
Yes.
Speaking of all of these tournaments and events and stuff,
Good.
I really hope that more people will start running this game. I think there's a lot of I guess fear. A lot of people think that it's an insurmountable task to speedrun this game. It's not that bad, and there's a ton of community support, and it is a lot of fun. So please, anyone, if you're even slightly interested, you can find the Ghouls and Ghosts or the G&G series Discord, and there's always someone in there to help you out.
That's 100% true. I mean, as someone who dips his toe into the Ghouls and Ghost waters, but, kind of accidentally wound up speedrunning Super Ghouls and Ghost. It was never my intention to learn that game. Believe me, I actively hated this series until just one day, I guess I run this game. The community is so supportive. So, if you need to know anything, I mean, obviously, you saw on display. They know it all. And Fred as well, and, others who are out there playing, Riverwind was popping in chat a little bit. I mean, there's so many great, talented, and helpful people out there. So we should probably plug the Discord here. I can do that. I can send that over. Yeah. Hey, everyone, join the Discord. We're not going to link it to you, but figure it out.
Riverwind's talking about how we were talking about the game's hard. The game is hard, and I mean, if you want to speedrun this game, you got to know it's hard.
I wonder if that comes up.
Yeah. If you type in Ghouls.
Oh, thank you, Fred.
Yeah.
Everybody go there.
So it's in the chat now.
Yeah, I'd say
it does not.
You can just try it if anything.
We've all got it linked on our Twitch pages. Me and Aquas do. I think Fred does.
Oh, I don't. Nah. A world record holder doesn't have it in his Twitch.
Actually, add a command for that.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I seriously, it's these games are mountainous in the work you have to put in, unless you're Zed or Aquas. But
yeah,
no, of course, no, I don't mean to discount your hard work that you put in or anything. No, because you certainly have. Now I was applauding your talent, not diminishing your hard work. But I mean, it's a big uphill climb, but there's a lot of people to help you along the way. So I would encourage anyone who even remotely interested to join. I can't say enough nice things about everyone in the community. So check it out.
Yeah. Everyone's really supportive. I had a 35, and I was going into the Discord and saying Aquas, what the hell do I do here? And Aquas, he still responded, even though I was a scrub, and I could have found it out pretty easy if I just looked at a video. So even if you're slightly lazy and don't want to look at videos, or you're bad and you don't know how to look at videos, then people will and still come to your aid. And I highly encourage that you come in if you even are thinking about running any of these games, not only Ghouls and Ghosts, but also Ghosts and Goblins, Super, Ultimate, the fan game Ghosts and Demons, all of those games.
Yeah, take a Discord link for coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
I get
Aqua's
it.
got it.
I get it. That's from the series. Okay.
Yeah.
Very clever. Yeah, and that's always our raid messages for the most part. Whenever we
Good one.
yeah. Take a rate for coming in. But we're not going to be rating here. We're going to be turning things over to our buddy Infinite Mystery, one of our RGL TV teammates. He's going to be coming on in just a second. I think he's did a little bit of last minute setup here. We'll just check and see if he is ready to go.
Yeah, I heard he's going to be doing all the G&G games in one sitting right now.
Yeah, that's what's happening next.
I think he said he wanted to do that.
8-hour Ghosts and Goblins run.
It could kill him, so maybe we should.
I think he's probably beaten all of them. I would have to say I'm quite sure he's beaten Ghosts and Goblins, which is my least favorite. I think most of our least favorite. That game's ass.
I guess I was including like the 35, 40 different ports out there.
Oh god. Oh jeez. Okay, yeah. Well, forget about that. That Amiga port is something else, right?
Yo, SMS
C64 version and
SMS Ghouls.
C64
slide, slippity slide. When you're living in the Ghouls and Ghosts, it's do or die.
Okay, once we start putting on the socks, I'm out of here.
So we want to announce right now that by participating in this GNG One Night Only tournament, you are automatically mandated to participate in the Master System GNG One Night Only tournament. So we'll see you all real soon. And get those socks on, hike them up real tight. And,
that's like a completely different game because it's so bad. I don't want to play it.
That game is not a platformer. That's an RPG.
The armor upgrade gives you traction. Why?
Why not? Why not?
Did you not get the boots? I guess you can't make this jump. Sorry.
Have fun.
You need the boots and the armor, not just the boots. That makes those are the socks.
Yeah, those are. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Very good.
Who needs traction in these games? Traction's baby mode. Give me a break.
Yeah, you're always holding forward anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, you want to go fast, right? So why would you want traction? Why would you want to stop? Ridiculous. Are you speedrunners or what?
Sometimes you should stop, such as when you're playing Sega Master System.
Yeah, stop. Get some help.
Please.
Yeah. That actually has a group of runners, though.
It does, yeah.
There's B-Trim and I think one other person, and that's it.
I don't think they're active runners, though, right? Like, they ran it for the Master 15, right?
No, B-Trim actually, like, invented that run. I was taking a look at his runs as he posted new ones over the last couple of years, and he's still coming up with... I think he's now optimized the strats for that game. And it's kind of unfortunate that the optimal strat turned out to just be farming items at the first stage, which looks really boring. But yeah, it's cool to see that he's figuring it out.
Well, awesome.
Yeah. So I think, would that do it for us, Enemy?
Yeah, it looks like IM is getting set up here, so we will go ahead and turn the reins on over to him. Thank you guys so much, and thanks all of you guys for your contributions on commentary as well. I really appreciate that. That always helps things move along a little bit easier when I don't have to restream and do all the commentary myself, so I appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations again to Zed. Awesome job.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us, man.
All right.
Thanks for having us on RGL.
All right, guys. And with that, we are going to turn it over to Infinite Mystery. You all have a wonderful evening. Thanks so much for watching the Ghouls and Ghosts One Night Only tournament. Stay tuned. Infinite Mystery's coming up next.